of blood bonds, the tale of the Ashen Court. It has been quite some time since we've all gathered around the glorious war table.
Yes.
I think the last time we left off, we had a speech. We had a great celebration with fireworks,
Oh yeah.
displays of wealth, and even printing your own face on money.
Was oh yeah, we did commemorative coins and stuff.
Oh yeah, that was great.
Oh my god, so it was like a combination of like yeah, a Trump rally and a Michael Bay movie. It was basically that inauguration. Just lens flares and explosions.
To say the least, you blew the budget, but at the same time, this will be a blockbuster, which everyone will be sadly, because there's no such thing as recordings yet, will be completely missed by the rest of the world.
Oh well, we had bards and stuff in place. They
Not
they'll
only
tell.
bards, though, bards, merchants, traders, and rumor-mongering nobles, all spreading far and wide, spreading tales of what they saw.
I do like the fact that we tried to go as big as we could, and we spent everything, and then just that nat 20 it was as big and massive as we could possibly have done it. It could not have been better.
And in the end, the centre of all of this, as it has been for this entire story, was of course Lord Amanus Zeal.
Yes, hello.
It's been several days since that large celebration. Currently, everyone's kind of been hastily trying to move into the new accommodations. Now you have the fine city of Solkai up and running.
Oh yes.
There's a constant kind of blizzard of activity back and forth with people moving in and out, traders arriving, new constructions going up by the day, where it seems like you leave town for just 8 hours to go hunting, you'll come back and something has changed.
That's excellent.
Everything is moving in a buzz and blur. There we go.
There you go.
Seemingly inspired, with morale higher than it's ever been. I will tell you, technically speaking, your military forces have also been boosted by this. And on the situation before, would technically be now at rank 5 as zealous morale.
Oh,
Great.
hey.
Sweet.
Though how long that will last for is a different question. But hey, if you get attacked.
Already.
But a few days begin to pass as kind of everyone settles in. Out of curiosity, let's see if we go round to everyone on the table and let's see how everyone has been settling into the new accommodations, the much larger spaces. Ceres, for example, you now have the opportunity to make your own library, your own laboratory.
Oh yeah, she's definitely going to be filling her room with bookshelves upon bookshelves and arcane lab spaces. And it's probably a bit of a mess while it's still getting sorted. Books all over the place, little coffee tables with like more books on it, tea on top of less important books, about like religion and stuff like that.
I like to imagine reaching your door outside is quite difficult because there's stacks of books out there waiting for you to bring them in.
Yeah, it's
also remember she need to lay down the laminate as well herself, so it takes a while to
Now, unlike me, she's got peasants for that.
Oh, okay.
But yes, there's so much material. Has finally got a place to live where she can keep a close eye on it and read until horrific hours at night.
What about Vickers? What has he been, given he now has all of this, now he has plenty of space to use and work with as he needs. Is there anything special he'd be setting up for himself?
Well, the fortunate case comes where when you suddenly have a lot of territory, it's quite prudent to make sure that you know where everything is and how to get there. Because if we're going to defend this place eventually, he needs to know how to get places quickly. And so considering he's now out of the dusty old room in the castle, he's gonna set up a map room. As many maps as he can grab or commission. He's just gonna set up a plethora of maps of the area of the states, like almost
Photography
like
Guild.
almost like a detective, like those boards with all those lines and stuff, but instead probably just the fantasy equivalent of daggers and papers.
I imagine this room kind of tucked off, hidden in one corner of the palace somewhere.
Yes, it's definitely not through the front door. That's for sure. It's in the hidey corners of the ways, but it takes a long time for him to set up. It's like the first time he's re-establishing a proper base for his operations and his network that he can actually have the space to do.
The heart of what will become your spy network.
Yes.
So, where is his office located on the premises? Is it like in the basement, up in a tower? Is it close to the throne room? Like where?
I think one of the towers in the back of the main building where
You
he
can have like a rookery, so you can send out a whole bunch of ravens.
yeah.
Oh,
And
yeah.
Takes like a year to get to his office.
yeah, but it's so that it's hidden in the back, and he can survey a lot from it. And considering it's mostly in the back, he also has some view outside the walls as well, from basically flank positions in case anyone wanted to sneak up on them. It's a bit of a trek to get up there every single time, but I mean, for him, it's mostly only going to be him using that room and whoever he has answer to him. So they would have the fortitude for a few steps, I think.
Now, perhaps a bit of a different question. We'll go for Zed then. Because what would Zed be setting up himself now he's got all the new territory the group PCs are claiming, and you get to make home? I don't assume it'd be something in the palace. Would Zed be doing something outside, do you think? Or
Oh, if I have the possibility to, go outside, he would like make a small cottage in there because that feels very homey for him. It's a cold area, but he can spice it up with thermal cubes and spells and so on.
do you say a cottage?
Yes, but
Yeah. You could
I
certainly
think,
build a cottage outside the city if you wanted.
but I think Seth doesn't wanna take that step yet. Actually, he wants to, still be close to the king, but he's gonna go camping outside time to time. But he's gonna pick like a small corner of his near a garden, grow some herbs and his own vegetables in there,
We
and just be in there.
didn't.
But
Sorry for asking, but wasn't there like areas of greenery and stuff in town? You could set up like a druid grove.
yeah, but there is like gardens and stuff and greenery most certainly. But it's a mix of things. Like Druidic Circle should be maybe like outside of civilization, and he has specific plans for a Druidic Circle.
Well,
Sure,
if nothing
sure.
else, if you wanted to, you can at least there is a lovely area for a royal garden outside the palace, if nothing else.
And, he's standing in the garden, growing some herbs in there, still being close to the king because he feels he needs to be still. There's a promise him to make before he can go make his old days in a cottage somewhere in the woods.
Sure, sure. I mean, yeah, we could probably set up. I seem to recall, didn't we go through like a garden area or something? Or maybe I'm misremembering.
There is kind of this large garden area you have to go through to get to the palace anyway.
Yeah, I mean, that could be your domain for now.
Yeah, homegrown tomatoes and
Oh, yay.
herbs and basilics and whatever there is. But he goes camping outside and writing down his notes and thoughts.
What does he think of the cold weather? Like, is this a climate he's familiar with, or does he long for the verdant, forests of the south and stuff like that?
It's the same as seasons, but the all the time cold weather is not his liking. He would like drift off to warmer places to the grassland and hills and the woods, basically in the summertime. But
Sure. So more of a deep forest love than like the cold, like
Yeah.
northern tundra.
Yeah, but he thinks it's like a fine for now.
Oh, sure.
He has interest in there with dark fairies. Maybe he grows
Yes, about
used to it.
that.
What about that?
Hmm.
But he's not really into the cult. Yeah, I think that's it.
And of course, for the king himself, you may not necessarily have facilities the same way the others, but perhaps there is something that is there anything in particular Amnet himself would want to would specifically be wanting to add to either his palace, the throne room, anything like that, as he's now.
Well, he would he would expect. I see. I don't know exactly what's in the palace, and I don't know if we're gonna handle it like something like Dragonix Inquisition. It's like, you have built, the tower or stuff like that. So I don't know exactly what's in there. What can I assume? However, the throne room itself is the official, where you receive visitors or petitioners.
Mhm.
So that's definitely there, and he would probably commission some artwork or some trophy displays or something of defeated enemies and slain foes of him and himself and his group. Like, this is the burnt shackles of that inquisitor that's on display. Here's the mummified head of some orc chieftain that was slain, stuff like that, right?
So setting up a museum to his own accomplishments.
Yes, the throne room should definitely display his banners and show off the deeds that they have accomplished so far. Preferably in some sort of physical trophies, but if not that, a statue or some sort of artwork, stuff like that. And start curating that, because throne rooms need to be bombastic and impressive, and one of the impressive things you can do is indeed showing off all the things you've killed and defeated. Apart from that, I mean, his private chambers would probably be somewhere close by. I imagine there is some back entrance to the throne room. That classic. There's behind the throne there is a lever or drapes or something that you can slink behind to access the inner parts of the palace. And for that, his private chambers, and probably set up some sort of training room, or not really dojo, because that doesn't really exist. You know what I mean? But
The equivalent.
the equivalent of a physical training room where he can practice. Yes.
Okay.
He would also like, now that rumor might be starting to spread and we have made a big entrance and splash, he's fairly confident in his fighting abilities and he has served himself well, but he does see that his court needs to be on peak performance, right? We are going up against a powerful kingdom that is currently distracted with other things, but he realizes that the fights are just going to get tougher, and so he needs to hone himself. The party needs to hone itself. Everyone needs to get better, and for that, he would like probably to start sending out feelers for perhaps getting a weapons master or someone here to train with. He wants to learn tricks of the trade on the fields of battle. And for that, he needs people that are better than him to help him out to train. So yeah, basically setting up maybe like a sword school or a fighting school. You know what I mean? Like some sort of war academy, but just for himself and the group so far.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
And certainly as your influence grows, especially as your prestige grows, such a thing may very quickly become a thing you can get established here. You can attracting certain individuals.
I would imagine it would be mainly for himself and maybe Vickers. He would think of this because the powers of Ceres and Zed are so different from his own. Like they draw upon magical, mystical might that he has at best a vague understanding of. Like Zed pulls on forces of nature as old as time itself, and Ceres
but,
taps into like a death plane. So a trainer wouldn't necessarily help them as much as they would help him swing a sword. You know.
Such might also still provide some benefit to some of your council as well.
Zed would actually go to those trainings, not
Yeah.
because he thinks it's best for him, because he likes dueling and that kind of challenge of etiquette and things like that. So
Oh,
he
sure.
actually would go to train.
Would
Of course, he would talk about how the history of dueling was whatever it was before, and now it's etiquette and whatever. But it's a hobby of his, simply.
Amenas will look over to Vickers and be like, "Oh, he brought his book again. Like he's gonna start talking, isn't he? You need."
is this something you think Zed would be expressing throughout some of his downtime? If would he, for example, accept challenges from local nobles to duel?
If they are not for kill, just for training, yes, he would accept them. Like he will tell that he's not the most talented, and he's an old man.
Yeah.
But he still enjoys the tradition of the duels.
Sure, sure. Amenas can respect that, of course, coming from the royal background that he is. For him, though, it's not so much about duel as just a subjugation of foes. Amenas's approach to this is less of a formal duel and much more of just no, I need to crush my enemies, as efficiently as I possibly can. I need to beat them into submission.
Yeah, that is not for sex, no.
Yeah.
The mindset of the Oath of Conquest, everyone.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like, yes, oaths and like duels, all fine and good, but I need to destroy you. I must break you.
If that is the case, then I will go with my spells and blow everything up.
But in your downtime, Zed can always spar with certain individuals.
I mean, if he wants to spar, Amenas will be happy. He has seen Zed use, a flaming sword and shield and stuff. So he would, yes, exactly like Halldamir. And he would be happy to spar with him, of course. But Amenas' style is very destructive and like,
I think
Go for it.
I think given Vickers' recent acquisition of a magical item that basically enhances his martial prowess, I think Amenas would certainly get a request for a practice fight.
Of course. We would. He'd be more than happy. He would do daily or weekly practice fights with Vickers, no problem. He sees Vickers as. It's important that Vickers is also, learning new tricks and of the battlefield in a way.
With the current fervor you've rallied into your people, there may be situations where then if this goes on, occasionally one of the servants may notice it and kind of peek in.
Yeah.
And like another servant ends up like showing up and like peeking around the corner as well. By the time you're done, there's just like a small group of servants all kind of peering in, watching. That as soon as you're done, they all just kind of duck away.
We certainly fight very differently. I mean, Amenas is just a forward, like ravager in a way. Just cold methodically trying to murder anything. Vickers, I don't know, he's more of a distance, like dodge, run away, and like toss knives type of fighter.
He's very versatile, I feel.
Yeah.
He's very a tactics master in the sense that he can swap up whenever he feels he needs to.
And he's very quick compared to Amenas, who's sort of lumbering, right? Vickers can sort of dart around.
Quite fast.
And Zed, if he joined, would be a much more defensive one, I suspect, with his like thorn whips and
shield in like a huge kite shield in the front, and that kind of thing.
Yep.
I think Ceres will enjoy like giving the like jibes at the like servants that watch. Like just comes up behind them and says, "They are interesting to watch, aren't they?"
They're like, "Oh no!"
Jumping out the soldiers jumping out their skin and then just like apologizing profusely and trying to run off to the duty.
We do need the snarky the queen bee of the class to sit in and comment.
Well, just occasionally, like, just reading a book, but occasionally makes remarks like, "Amenas, your left foot was 3 inches out of place."
Well,
Uh,
if you want a perfectionist in terms of dueling like that, you do have one of those in your court.
Oh god, I don't
And
even
Lady
remember.
Masara will certainly join all of you.
Oh, yeah. she's a great teacher because she'll just tell you. She'll tell you.
She has no she will not hold back. She will tell you exactly what you did wrong, and she will also perfectly just accept criticism flat out if she makes a mistake.
Yeah.
She's
That's what
very
I have.
She's very blunt in terms of this, and she is very good at the kind of the definitely the art of the duel.
Oh, that's nice.
Uh,
Well, yeah, but yeah, it is a place to train and to hone one's skills and to try to press further. So yeah, in closing, looking for a weapons master who can teach me maybe a feat or something.
Well,
So-
you have reached the point of power where that would now be an option.
Yeah.
So
Because I do have a list of very useful ones that I would like to pursue.
Interesting.
Yeah. Many products to buff my combat capabilities, but that's sort of the type of person he is.
well, it sounds like if nothing else, the kind of following days and week after you move in is certainly being eventful.
Oh, yes.
Though, as always, ruling isn't all fun and games. Business always comes to the table.
Oh, business.
There has apparently been some disputes going on down in some of the new territory.
Oh yes, spill the tea.
It appears a group of the local some of the new farmers moving in, trying to claim plots of land for themselves, have gotten into a bit of an argument, which normally would not be something to disturb you as the monarch, until one of them showed up dead.
Hmm.
Oh, dear.
And as the current law enforcement is maybe not as strong as it could be at the moment, given they're still set up doing. Well, there is unfortunately a murder that requires someone to be judge over.
Well, I am the justice, so that would certainly be my purview if we don't have a magistrate quite yet.
I recommend for you, but otherwise, if it's said, it's fake court laws, and that you don't want.
In the old days, one could tell if someone was guilty by fish guts. You're like, oh,
Witches are known if they float
You
like
are free to assign
Yes.
anyone to basically oversee and handle this case for you, or you can handle it yourself. That is your choice.
he just looks at here's the witch, burn her. No, I will proceed. Like, I will preside over this case, certainly.
In which case, you can sit upon your throne and have one of the guards drag in the prisoner.
Yeah, bring the accused before me.
As very much the guard will come in and, reading from a small scroll, will read out the prosecution side of the argument.
Uh-huh.
Here stands Jeremiah Winklebottom,
Mm-hmm.
who was accused of killing his neighbor, Sandra Mikowski. The neighbors had reported seeing the two of them row and roughhouse on multiple occasions since the recent move-in, including rather heated arguments where, as I quote, "Why don't you come over here, you fish gut bitch?"
Oh,
Jesus.
oh.
Yesterday morning, the victim was found dead out in her garden, seemingly having been killed with the defendant's own knife, though he claims that he lost it. We have at this time found no other possible suspect.
One question.
Yes.
Would this matter have been brought to Amina's attention like a day or so before? Like,
It could have been, yes.
yeah, because in that case, he might have a spell for that kind of stuff.
You could easily have the prisoner waiting in the dungeon an extra day. That's not an issue. So.
Yeah, no. Well, in that case, let me check something. Might do some shenanigans here. Yeah. All right. In that case, Amanas will sit on the throne, looking down on the poor prisoner, and before like he begins questioning after hearing this, he will cast 2 spells. First, he will cast Bane on the prisoner.
Bane.
Yes.
What does Bane do in 5th edition, please?
It lowers any saving throws he makes with a D4.
It's like
So it's anti-haste. It's anti-bless, sorry. Okay.
Anti-blast, yep. Anti-blast.
with a slightly lowered die.
So yeah, he needs to make, I think. Let's see, Bane. Bane 5e. I think it's a wisdom save he needs to do. See here. 3 creature within range. Concentration. Charisma saving throw. So a charisma saving throw, DC 15. And after that, he will cast Zone of Truth on him, which is also a charisma save with DC 15, minus a D4 then if he failed the Bane.
And DC 15, you said.
The DC 15 charisma save, yep.
Okay. 1 moment. I just need to quickly check something.
Also, specifically with Zone of Truth, you will know, it tells you whether the creature succeeds or fails on the saving throw. For that one.
Yes. So he will sense if the peasant has resisted his own truth.
You sense the peasant nearly resisted the Zone of Truth.
Nearly, but didn't.
Correct.
All right. In that case, he will then, spoken his heavenly doom over the poor peasant. He will look down upon him from his throne and then say, "What do you have to say in your defense? Are these allegations true?" So, for the son, he cannot speak a deliberate lie.
He grits his teeth and twists for a moment.
Uh-huh.
I did not kill my neighbor.
Thomas peers at him. Your dagger was found to be the murder weapon.
Correct.
And you claim you lost.
That is what I claimed.
Did you in fact lose it?
He appears to go silent.
Uh-huh. Did you convince, bribe, or in any other way persuade or hire someone else to kill your neighbor?
No.
Who took your dagger?
It doesn't appear he wants to tell you.
He peers at him and says, "If you do not tell me who took your dagger, I will assume that you are protecting the real criminal, making you an accomplice to murder. The punishment for that is not death, but you will be imprisoned for a long time. Now I ask again, who took your dagger?"
And what punishment would be there for this murder?
He looks upon him and says, "If it is a murder in cold blood, the punishment is death. If there are extraneous circumstances, leniency might be acquired." But hiding something from me is definitely the worst of your options.
Would you like to try and persuade him or intimidate him?
I think this is an intimidation situation.
That's fair.
Would you say that I have advantage on this, perhaps?
Given he's under the effects of a zone of truth right now and is struggling to find words to say, sure.
All right. So the plus sign for advantage, 24.
The cool icon.
Yes, this is pretty.
There's a large silence in the room. As you almost see him he's muttering a prayer under his breath.
Uh-huh.
I believe the person who had my blade that night was my wife.
So you believe your wife killed your rival?
He nods.
Why do you think this?
It looks like he's about to say something, and then you immediately see his jaw kind of slam shut as if the magic's compelling him not to lie.
Uh-huh.
Because she asked me to help carry the body.
Well, there we have it. And where is your wife now?
Probably packing her bags.
Mm-hmm. Amenas looks to the guard and says, "Arrest the wife." Looks down at him again. And she did this without asking you or telling you or implying that she was going to do this.
It got out of hand.
Looks at him.
She invited him over in an attempt to try and reconcile things. Things got heated in argument back and forth. I'm not entirely sure of how everything happened. I wasn't in the room exactly at the time, having stepped out. But when I returned to the room minutes later, she was there panicking over his body as a knife was in the chest. And she was trying to figure out how to stop the bleeding.
Hamlet nods. Slurred himself. He looks over to the guard again. You know, assuming that the wife is going to be brought to him at some point.
Yeah.
He looks at the
Saw another
dude.
guard run off to try and go fetch her.
Yeah. Looking at the dude, he like waves him away pretty much. It says, "Put him in the dungeon. The official sentencing will be later."
The prosecutor guard will nod, roll up the scroll, and then lead him to the dungeon.
Was muttering to himself. Oh, peasants.
A time later, the wife will be brought before you, apparently having already been at the gates of the town getting ready to leave.
Yeah.
He is dragged before you. A second guard in the back carrying the bags that you had on them because they had to go somewhere.
Yeah.
And she's kind of rather defeatedly chucked before you.
Yeah, he will look at her and say, "Your husband has confessed to the court that you killed." He searches his memory for for the name of whatever it was. Mr. Winterbottom, was that it? No, that was the defendant. Killed your rival with a knife in your own home over a dispute. I take it this is correct, looking meaningly at the bags.
I didn't intend to kill them. It was an accident.
You accidentally stabbed him in the chest.
Look, we had been in an argument. I'll admit that. But I never intended to stab him. We were in the kitchen. I was still in the middle of preparing dinner at the time. We'd been arguing, getting back and forth, getting frustrated. I had turned to start cutting all the vegetables and kind of get everything prepared for dinner, and I'd asked him to leave. He'd come over, put his hand on my shoulder, and I kind of turned around, and without thinking, I still had the knife in my hands, and I think you'd figure out what happened after that. Before I knew it, he kind of collapsed to the ground, and look, I really didn't mean it. My husband's an idiot, but I wouldn't want either of them dead.
Amnes thinks a little bit. Was he threatening you?
He'd been a little pushy and aggressive, but he wasn't going to do anything. And my husband was just in the next room. If he actually tried anything properly, he would have rushed in and beat the brains out.
Yes. Looks over and says, "Well, He seemingly, leans his head a little bit in his hand as he ponders this. And then he will say, "Well, I find you guilty of manslaughter, and I find your husband guilty of trying to help you cover up the crime." He waves towards the guard to take her to the dungeons. The sentencing will be carried out at a later date.
She kind of bursts out into tears as she's carried away.
Interesting. I mean, they killed him. That's for damn sure. But it wasn't cold-blooded murder, so I don't think execution is on the table. Well, there was like a plot of land or something they were fighting over.
Yes, they had been fighting over. They've been able to fight basically like a border dispute of where the fence should go.
Right.
And the result is, someone's going to end up getting, a decent plot of extra land compared to the other one.
Does the murdered woman have any family left?
She has a son who would technically inherit the estate.
All right.
He gets it.
Well,
I guess. Cool.
In that case, the son, as will rule that the son gets both plots of lands. The two criminals will be incarcerated for now, and then put to manual labor for, well, let's see here. Let's say 5 years for her, and half that time for him. And if they behave good and work hard, they can be free after that.
Well, you did want to set some crystal mines soon. I'm sure they could do with more labor.
Excellent. To the mines. I think that is a fairly just sentencing.
As the court scribe will take it down and go to process the verdict for you.
Incarcerate them only, of course, but that would be a waste of resources. Might as well put them to work.
Certainly word goes around of one of the first murder case of the new city.
Yep.
Understandably, news spreads. Though it appears the public's general reaction to your sentencing does appear overall favourable, because it appears the overall public seem to agree with your sentencing.
That's good. That's good. I was considering, making an example out of them. Have them flogged on the square and then mount their heads on a pike or something. But since it wasn't actually, cold-blooded murder, I would be more lenient. Murder requires planning, in my mind.
The king is a surprisingly educated man of the law.
Well, he's lawful neutral. He doesn't exactly, he has a strong sense of justice. He thinks, at least. We should probably write down some sort of law text, however, like a code of laws or something.
Well, I'm sure whenever you get a warden, that can be their first job to do.
Yeah.
Rule number 1: don't be a dick.
Yep.
Rule number 2: do not insult the king. Very well then. With your first kind of court case dealt with, even if it's a fairly minor one. Now presents, well, Ceres. You hear news from the northern border of your new territory.
Okay.
A large boat has pulled up on the coastline.
Curious.
You don't know who the boat belongs to, but nonetheless, a boat has arrived.
How far away is this border of this boat?
Unfortunately, you don't have a proper road out there, which is apparently something the crew of the boat was complaining about. But if you're going on a horse, you can get there in a day or two. Maybe 3.
3. What is this place? Christ.
Again, it's forests, mountains, and no road.
Did whoever spot them see any flag that they may bear?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
The flag in question appears to be a blue field with a cross and a white rabbit.
Oh. Okay. Question is, does anyone else want to come with?
I'll
Because
come with you.
that's probably that might be an emissary from the Duchess that we are going to the ball. Or hoping to go to the ball. I believe that's her coat of arms. So,
Oh, maybe I shouldn't go with you then.
I mean, you can linger in the back. That's cool.
I can wear my fancy clothes.
Wear the fancy
If you think
clothes.
it's the Duchess, then
I don't think it's actually the Duchess, but it's the ducal flag, I believe.
Ducal coat of arms.
The ducal coat of arms. It's been a hot minute since I've seen it, but that's what my memory is reminding me it looks like.
oh, every diplomat needs a bodyguard, so I'll come with.
Yeah, alright. Our king, we should be gone for some time. We're meeting with people in a boat. Toodle pip!
Yeah. He waves, that's fine. He's currently getting snacks in the throne room right now.
As you all head out then towards the northern side of your new territory.
Before I do that, alright, we got 6 hours of me being in your head and everyone else.
I think it's
I'll
taking
presume-
some hours.
Yeah, I'll
Some
presume you'll
days.
use that when you're getting close to the port.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I say port. The ruins of a port that maybe one day will turn into an actual port.
We'll
Yes.
fix it up.
This is be used once we arrive, just so we have some.
Right now, as you can head over the hill, all that's really left is there's like ruins of what was probably like a small village here, or a town of some kind, and like a single stone platform out, which is kind of like a dock.
Mm.
All the rest of what was here, infrastructure-wise, is worn away of the elements.
Mm. Definitely need to fix it up, don't we?
But at least there's a basis here that if you wanted to one day set up a proper port, a marina, as it were.
All right.
But you can see sitting in the port a large sailing ship with great blue sails upon it.
All right.
And it does indeed appear to be carrying the banner of Port Silverswift.
Most curious. Yeah, I mean, let's go say hello. See what they're about.
Yes. Let's take a look, shall we?
As you head on down, and you find a campsite set up around the outside of the boat. And you pass a couple of what appears to be sailors who are currently now foraging in your woods for food. Seems fair, though, given there was no town for them to dock at.
Yeah.
But as you approach, you end up seeing what clearly is some kind of looks like some kind of influential figure on top of the gangplank as you get closer.
I imagine we also bring like the flag, right? We're coming as.
You're bringing your own banner along, your own colours.
I imagine so. Yeah, I think that's sensible.
Very well.
You say we, but it's me carrying this thing.
You know what? Ceres really appreciates that you carry flag.
He's proud to carry it, to be honest.
Banner bearer.
Yep. Certainly stands out even more, so. What could go wrong?
What you end up seeing is an elf standing atop the ship. or possibly a half elf, it's not clear which from a distance, with this feathered tricorn. A rather fancy looking, definitely elven designed crossbow on their back.
Okay.
They seem to be one in charge, giving orders to the other members of the crew.
I mean, I imagine that Ceres is as confident in her position as she like rides up towards the gangplank and then swings off.
Yep. While she's doing that, Vicus wants to take a look at the crew members. What exactly are they doing?
Some of them seem to be just doing basic maintenance on the ship. Others appear to be foraging for food or hunting at the moment.
Fair enough.
Resupplying, as it were. You do see a couple of crew who seem to just be keeping a lookout and watching the area. You also notice, as you look around, Vickers, the ship is surprisingly well armed.
Oh, like a means of naval combat rather than like
Yes.
weapons. Oh, okay.
As you see several ballista and a front-facing cannon.
Oh, they're decked out.
A
Pun intended.
cannon.
Jeez.
Straight up cannon. Dang.
Yes, it is quite the fine vessel.
Now we need to be friends with them.
I have a feeling that this actually could be the Duchess. It would
Maybe,
be crazy, but I mean, of the things I've heard of her, this doesn't
Maybe,
surprise me entirely.
Maybe it's a rakish pirate king come to kidnap you.
Who knows? Maybe I'll be re-rolling a character.
Oh, you know, there'll be no dying when I'm around.
No,
Cannon swivels towards Ceres.
No.
If you're interested, I can give you a picture of the elven sailor in question.
Yeah.
All right.
That will go into the Blood Bonds chat. So,
Right. But yeah, okay. So Ceres will call out.
Wow.
She's gonna actually test the waters in Elvish, and we'll say, "Hoy there." What brings you to our frozen and sadly disrepaired port?
there's a brief moment of pause where the conversation kind of stops as the elf looks towards you, and a bit of a grin appears on his face as he makes his way over and approaches down the gangplank towards you. And continuing in Elven. What I was originally going to say, I might just change to finding such a beauty out there.
Ceres will give him like a half smile, and
Getting closer, it's clear that he is true blood elf.
Ooh.
Don't even.
Ceres will definitely smile and say, well, what would bring a rakish fellow flying such colours to these rather desolate plains?
I have come bearing a message for whoever rules these. He kind of kicks the dust off the dock a little bit. Irrepaired lands.
Our king is in the city, recently reclaimed and being rebuilt. But I am sure that he does not mind his loyal servant to pass on his message from you.
May I have a name, my lady?
Ceres smiles and says, very well, I am Lady Ceres Hilariel, along with my compatriot here. Who may you be?
It's a pleasure. I am Captain Astinian. I am one of them. I am one of the Well, I like to think of myself as one of the upper commanders, but regardless of titles, I come here on the behest of the traders of Port Silverswift. They have heard that there is a new burgeoning realm on the rise, and they seemed quite interested in seeing if there was any kind of possibility for trade relations.
Ceres nods and says, indeed, trade relations are the backbone of all great kingdoms. And
Given the absolute lack of road, we thought it best to send a boat instead, but clearly he looks around at the ruins. Even this is not a great option.
no, for now, shipping and transportation will be slow. But, of course, arrangements can be made to prioritize which neighbors can best gain from a fruitful trade contract.
Moreover, I come bearing a letter.
Ceres hands out an puts out an expectant hand.
He draws a letter from inside his breast pocket, briefly takes your hand, kisses it, and then hands you the letter.
She'll read it in front of him.
To Count Zeal of the newly formed Highlands. You are hereby cordially invited to a night of pleasure and debauchery at Palace Silverswift. Please come in your finest dress and, well, look forward to an exciting evening like none you've had before. Such a signed Duchess Edesia of the Silver Isles. It is on like the finest stationery you've ever seen, even slightly enchanted so that even if in the shade it's perfectly readable. The ink faintly glows in the shade.
Very extravagant way to send a letter. I like it. I'm assuming that's her.
It is an invitation for one only.
Yeah, it's just for the king.
Mm-hmm. No plus ones, no RSVPs.
Well, I mean,
from what I understand, the Duchess had heard great information about and great praise of your local ruler after a recent display during his coronation.
Ceres nods, tucking the letter away. Says, indeed, it was a welcome celebration for a renewed hope coming to the lands. I shall deliver this to my king as soon as we get back.
You raise this slight eyebrow for a moment.
Vicus will poke a bit mentally at Ceres and say, there's a little bit of a chuckle before he says anything, and says, well, if she's requesting the king, well, perhaps you can go with him.
Yeah, I think you and me, great minds think alike. Because as Ceres says that she passed it on, she says she looks the captain up and down, like judgingly almost, and says, and does the captain of high rank get invited to such balls as well?
Why, frequently I very well might. He lets out an overly dramatic sigh. I may possibly be deployed at the time and may end up missing such an extravagant affair.
That is a shame. If you were invited and had someone of equal grace be at your arm as well. It would be a shame to miss such an opportunity.
He looks to you and pauses for a moment. Well, I'll need to speak with some of my crew, but maybe it is possible I could still attend. Assuming if I did have such a partner to bring along for such an occasion, it would be a shame to disappoint them.
Harris nods, but like giving a slight frown, and says, "It would be a shame if you did have someone to be at your arm for such a great festivity. Would have to miss out if you were to be so deployed." Now,
Vickers gets a sense right now he's your presence has been completely forgotten at the moment. He's just kind of
Yes, that is Vicus's specialty, is to just fade. He's quite a lot of his mental effort is actually spent trying not to make his face move at all, because he is certainly finding this quite amusing. But he's doing his job. He's being a patient, silent observer. So
Astinian is a definite flirt, and if you play him on, he will certainly respond in kind.
Okay, then Ceres will give a slight smile and say, "In that case, I shall see you in the city closer to the time. I'm sure my king will acquiesce to such a gracious invitation."
He gives a bow. Thank you, my lady. And if you ever need my services or wish to speak with me, when you come to Port Silverswift, come to the Free Swords. It's a fine establishment, and I'm sure you will. You'll always be able to find me there.
Nods. Says, "I shall remember the place. Look for you." Yeah, smiles and says, "I suppose you are back to the Great Port?"
I shall be soon, yes. I have made my initial assessments here, and I've delivered the messages required. Though, if you or your compatriots wish to travel, I will be still here for the next couple of days if you wish to ride with us.
Do we need to leave pretty soon to get there?
The ball is relatively soon. You could make it on horseback, but it would be quite a rush.
So the question I have, right? We now have potentially tendered 2 invites, but we can also go just not to the ball, right? We can still go to the city.
Yes, correct.
Okay. We're not like the
And
city's also exclusive. That would be
the city. So what I've heard is that the ball is extended out into the city, so
Right,
it's like a public,
a citywide festival.
yeah.
Ah, I see.
With
Okay.
the final note of it, the conclusion of the festival is the ball happening on the final night.
Well, given that our plan last time was actually go and do it, I think it's a good idea to go and do it now.
Yeah, and I mean, getting a lift there as well, so we can not rush and encounter
Also, maybe
trouble.
get to know Captain Estinian a bit more, see what his motivations are.
Yeah.
The captain would greatly enjoy that.
I'm sure he would.
Moreover, you might potentially be able to find ways to get more invites.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure Ceres can insist that the handsome rakish captain attend.
I mean, Sarah's has clearly got bought herself away, and if she's willing to go arm in arm with the captain.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. She does, she can literally teleport 30 feet away from him. All it takes is just getting into the crowded part of the ball and then slipping away.
Yeah, and then do fire damage to all the citizens
Yeah,
below
I
them
was
up to
gonna
the flames,
say
and
because something happens when you teleport, right? Isn't that the case?
That's only when
then...
I'm in summer. The step damage is only in summer. Okay.
You've been seeing Summer a lot though recently.
It has been summer a lot recently.
And she would be summer when she's going with a handsome, rakish captain, right?
No,
I mean,
because that's
no,
her
it's
more
a winter
aggressive.
ball, right? So
Yeah,
Mm.
but summer is more like aggressive. No, it'd probably be more spring
yeah.
than anything.
Youthful exuberance, right? So
Yeah, and in which case spring would be that I could teleport someone with me, or no, instead of me. So I could just teleport him away.
I was gonna say you could whisk him away together, but no, that's more like
how
goodbye.
romantic.
Yeah.
Teleport
It's
instead of you.
yeah, okay, well that's good because otherwise I'm afraid have to stop you because we can't have you appear like a fireball inside a ball.
That's true.
That would
Well,
be
yeah.
so
It'll be fine.
the countess's dog has been immolated and at least 5 guests. I'm so sorry.
I might have to just break Captain Estinian's heart. That's all.
The Buffy table is ruined.
Okay, so I think we can take the
offer.
take the trip.
Come with, yeah.
The captain will wait a couple of days, and if the group so desires.
Oh, a couple of days. Oh.
Well, he's gonna stay on a ship, that's for sure.
Oh no, he ain't.
He'd be happy to come back to the city with all of you and deliver the message in person.
Maybe not. Maybe not giving him a look of our stuff is actually a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I like that
exactly.
Vickers is thinking of this strategically. I appreciate it.
Because clearly he's sent here to investigate and also to gauge. So let's not let him into the city we're currently rebuilding. Let's let him in when we're done.
I would have.
And
Yeah, like that's why I haven't invited him back.
yeah.
It's like
Oh, he'd very much like to come with Ceres.
Yeah, of course we would.
Well, absence makes the heart grow fonder, doesn't it? So
He's
we'll be back
It's a
at
hope
our
that
party.
the phrase might work.
I really want Ceres now to be just in youthful spring mode and then just write these incredibly cringy love poems. Your eyes are like the sky. I feel like I can fly.
Oh man.
When do you think she's actually going to be in spring? She actually comes out the next morning as winter, and it's.
Don't ask.
Yeah. Oh, that was bad.
All talk, but whew, just...
Oh man, could not
It's a-
deliver.
Crossbow incident, it jammed. So all right, let's take the boat, shall we?
Yeah.
Well, first, I suppose you'll go back to the city, and you will inform Amadus that he's been invited to a ball.
No, we're just gonna leave it out of him. Let's go right now, sir.
Yeah, you, me, let's go.
It's just empty at the castle suddenly. Amadus like, where is everyone?
I just cut scene to two of us just partying like crazy. No, yes, we do inform
Best
Amadus.
spring break ever.
Yes, you can make your way back without too much issue. Though, it almost feels like in the back of Sarah's mind, even though there's no way it's actually possible, it's almost as if she can hear, like, the captain writing love poems about her.
Oh no.
Oh god. Yeah, I'm definitely feeling that winter side of things coming in.
How quick are your changes? Are they gradual, or do you just like wake up one morning and you're...
Short or long rest. Have to rest.
okay.
So yeah, it can be a morning thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can be a morning thing, and then it can shift after a short, like, nap.
Yeah.
Well, at least a good gauge for how Ceres is doing.
Yeah.
Oh,
Although
yeah.
Wintery mood, I see.
It's normally like an overall mood. That's why recently it's been summer, because it's been about action getting things
Yeah.
done.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah,
What's winter?
like melancholy,
Yes, yeah.
quite low, quite quiet and reserved, and
And how does that look on her? Like, what's her look when that's? Because summer is like red hair or whatever it was, right?
yeah, yes. Where like brighter hued skin, where winter's like darker.
Yeah.
Like I guess like blue, like dark. Yeah, just like a darker hued skin and like black hair. Yeah, that sort of darker side of her.
It's
Yeah.
like a snowflake falling from her hair or something.
It's just a face, mom.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's just from the staff that constantly emit stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So in Eladrin, it's I just look at it again. Like, okay, so autumn is the season of peace and goodwill. Winter is the season of contemplation and dollar,
Mm-hmm.
when the vibrant energy of the world slumps. Spring is the season of cheerfulness and celebration. So she's probably been in spring somewhat recent because of the whole celebration thing. And summer is the season of boldness and aggression.
All right.
Right. Let's bring it up. Let's go.
Yeah. I gotta be right back in a few minutes apparently.
All right.
Yep, no problem. Yes, let's prepare to make our way.
But yes, you're feeling one of the after effects here of that nat 20 is the fact that, oh yeah, you've had an invitation personally delivered to you.
Wonderful.
It should.
Really should. That people should be beating down our door after that celebration. Be like, my God, who is those guys?
I mean, they kinda are with this.
Yeah, that's good. Good.
We're also bringing Lady Masara, of course.
Yes.
We have her mission as well.
Would be highly recommended.
Yes.
Kind of rude not to, I guess.
Yeah, I'll buy Masara. Actually, I lied about everything.
Yeah.
We come back and everyone's just dead. Like, just kill everyone.
Expect like fighting on the boat.
Okay, there's the message fully written out for you.
Oh,
Count, eh?
well, you are assigned as count, yeah.
Mm.
You are not yet king.
You're not yet king.
Who said that?
He
The
said
the
here in the
game
card.
universe.
The game universe. Wow.
Yeah. Whispers from beyond.
Uh-huh.
Beyond the fourth wall.
Beyond the fourth wall. So I hear whispers coming.
Oh wow, are you ready for unforgettable night of pleasure, debauchery, and sin? Or maybe we shouldn't send Amethyst there, actually. Maybe he
I mean-
might revert to his old ways.
Hopefully not. It's a test of trust.
Yeah,
Whatever.
this is Amethyst's test now.
Yes.
You test the resistance of your own life calling to you.
It's certainly tempting.
Yes. Well, we have a refinery ready. For
Yes.
at least two of us.
How does
I mean, for you.
Amanus, I suppose, because I presume Ceres will give Amanus the letter
Mm-hmm.
on the lightly either enchanted or at least alchemical, the enhanced stationery. How does Amanus feel reading this letter?
I mean, he will look it over. He will frown at the pleasure, debauchery, and sin part. That's not exactly what he looks for anymore, and maybe indeed there is a twinge of his old life haunting him, you know. But then again, you know, this is something that we have worked with, and we have identified the Silverswift Isles as something that we need to befriend and important to have on our side. So he will see the utility of this. He, you know, he's not gonna come in his best finery. The picture I sent earlier is basically what he's gonna wear, which is his plate armor, and
Just
then
with pearls and jewels.
yeah, so he has his newly made crown. That's very fancy. Festooned by the gemstone that he found after vanquishing the darkness of the dwarven smith / goblin temple. But apart from that, you know, yeah, a fancy cloak made of some, I don't know, some sort of snow smilodon or like a polar bear or something, you know.
Something
just to-
suitably endangered.
something suitably endangered and fancy. And the armor itself is pretty fancy itself, as I understand it. It was specially made for him, right? So I think it's also like some intimidation stuff on it, you know. But he wants to exude that he is a man of action more than a leisure prince. You know, he was a leisure prince before, and this is his new persona, his new him, and showing up and basically entering into orgies is not what he wants to project at all, because that's just him reverting back to his old ways.
All right. Yeah, as you did say though, you have identified allying the Duchess of Steel would be incredibly valuable, given there's really only two ways into the Northern Territories. One is through the Count to the Duke to yourself, the Bear Duke, who is not particularly on friendly terms with you in the best ways. Or won't be. Given you are kind of stealing Eliza from him.
Mm.
The only other way is via the Duchess's realm. So take it as you will. Being cut off from everyone else could be quite dangerous.
Yes.
Very well.
I mean, the Duchess's realm being the safest, we probably do that, right?
Yeah. Moreover, she has a port, which is probably quite a valuable asset.
Oh, yes.
Even if, you know, the other Duke has wizards. Lots and lots of wizards. Sarah's is stepping away constantly, clearly checking her dress. That's fine. I presume the king has no issue, though, with taking this voyage, it sounds like. So the only question is, yeah, who are you bringing along on your trip? Obviously, Lady Masara wants to come along because she has her own business in that city. Is there anyone else in the council you so think you should drag along to a...
Arclon comes along.
Very well. Still has the old token format. That's fine.
You're muted, I think.
I'm not muted. It's just my mic is being weird. How is the reputation of the Harpy in Silver Moon?
She doesn't have a strong one over there. Though she certainly knows plenty of nobles.
Right.
But she doesn't necessarily have the strongest reputation over there. More or less just from the fact of she's well, she doesn't travel over there that often.
Right. She's just distant from it because she literally just doesn't go there that often. So fair enough. Maybe not her then.
Of course, if you wish to bring a fashion consultant along, she's more than happy to come.
We're good on that. She's already given me the rundown on how to put on my clothes, so
She might be a good source of just gossip and information, right? Someone to whispers like, "Oh yes, that is the Countess so and so. She slept with that and that."
Yeah.
No,
Would
it
she
sounds
even
like
given her own invite though?
She does not have her own invite, no.
Yeah, so she'd just be left outside. I feel that would suck for her.
Unless you're able to procure like, extra invites, or otherwise it'll be all forewarning stuff.
Yeah. I can't think of anyone that like. I feel like the more people we have, the more like presence we have, and that's not necessarily what we want. If we want to just do like a diplomacy ball thing, and also some intrigue in the background with Masara's mission, so
Yeah, you can bring as many or as few as you wish.
what do you guys think?
I mean, let's look. I think like having a retainer each is not bad. Masara, yes, because it's her. It's part of the reason we're going there is her. Arkland, yes, because I need someone to bear my wine and stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean,
Um,
I would normally bring Theo, but Mazara is basically taking his spot as like
I mean, I
my
can take
second,
Lady
right?
Masara because
I mean, not.
Zed is very interested on her quest.
I mean, the point
Yeah.
is, if you want to bring Theo along, you can still.
Right.
I think we can bring him. He could see the high life a little bit, although he might be too young for a debauched.
That's that's also what I'm worried about.
I mean,
Is like
just because you bring them along doesn't necessarily mean they're coming to the ball necessarily.
that's true. It's true.
Well, it's would you have use for them in preparation for it at all, or something like that as well?
Yeah. You know what? I'll bring him along. He needs some field experience. So
In this case, he might be more useful with Mazara stuff potentially, but
yes. Let's bring Theo along. Let's get him some nice looking clothes. Just some fine wear, so he doesn't look too standoutish.
Then the harpy, or
just to know who's with you.
Does she want to go? By the way,
she would love to come along.
well, then bring her. I mean, what harm could she do, right?
I think she would be very helpful. I think she knows a lot of the ins and outs of this place. She loves gossip and nobles, and probably a
Yeah.
fairly good source of information. Honestly, someone who can walk behind you and whisper in your ear, who's who.
Yeah, and she's
Because-
a good person to plant misinformation. She can also start some rumors, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think it's good that way.
Because gods know we don't know these people at all.
It's true. We need like a noble wing
Yeah.
woman.
Exactly.
Dude, I don't talk to that guy. It's it's bad.
Yes, he has just been embroiled in a very unsavory affair.
On the other hand, that also might be good blackmail for you. So very well.
I think that's as much as I bring personally. So
not too much.
No one to bring. Ceres? Does Ceres want to bring anyone?
Don't know if Halldamir is here, if he stepped away still.
Maybe the young elven lady,
Charlotte.
Charlotte. Yeah.
Well, maybe. See what. I feel like we can like decide that retroactively, right? Until he comes back.
Do we know if Lady Masara's target was at the ball itself or just in the city?
Was not at the ball. Right?
So-
At least not to our knowledge.
My idea for this is basically while you two are invited to the ball, we'll use the celebration as a mask to actually go through unhindered most of the stuff.
That sounds good.
Well, with nothing else, you're not having spare time, so you can end up, or if you wanted to, all together dealing with Masara stuff, then going to the ball afterwards.
Yeah.
It's more a
Yeah,
case of, for those who do not currently have invites, you might have to find alternate ways to get them in, or obtain more invites.
I mean,
Yeah,
if
'cause I guess
nothing
we have-
else, I will go as a cat.
Worst case, I suppose, yes, you go with someone familiar.
Yes.
Wow.
I'm the king's familiar.
You could turn into, something familiar, like maybe what's the tiniest thing you can be?
Probably.
Spider, I guess.
There's
Oh,
that cat or something, right? You could be a
I mean,
cat.
they are smaller things.
Maybe if you're small enough, you can sort of hide in my pocket and just sort of materialize.
A fox is tiny.
Fox is kind of big.
Yeah, but let me see what all familiar there are. So I could be like a cat, rat, a spider,
A rat.
a monkey, a
Oh
crab.
A crab? This is my pet crab. I must bring him wherever I go.
A lizard.
Uh-huh.
Uh,
How big of a spider? Because a spider seems that seems like you could easily.
Depends on a spider, I guess. I mean, I could be a Velociraptor.
That might be difficult to get into the ball, although we would make a splash.
Admittedly,
A
for
scorpion.
someone who likes like debauchery and like unexpected surprises, a Velociraptor would,
I could ride into the ball on a Velociraptor.
No.
Velociraptor is a tiny creature.
What, Velociraptor is a tiny creature?
What? That
Yes.
makes no sense.
No,
What?
they're like
They're
horse
huge.
sized. Like
No, it's a tiny creature. There's
a
another.
tiny Velociraptor. Oh, it's cute.
I mean, hey, what if I'm a badger? I think a badger is a right decision.
The badger. This is my the royal badger.
I mean, I
He
could be bear.
had also pretty striking, certainly.
Hey, why have a fur collar when you can actually have a live animal on your
Actually,
neck? Keep you warm.
And look, he
the
can juggle.
bear draped over my neck.
A real bear, yeah, just like say, hey, what's up?
I like the idea of bringing Zed along as a stunt, because then I'm like, oh look, he can juggle.
Uh,
Yeah, I just brought him as more part of the entertainment for you this evening.
yes.
Of course, of
You know,
course.
there are options. Whatever you wanna.
If we need to smuggle you in, be like a small spider or something. Like you just hide under my cloak and then crawl out and just materialize behind a pillar or something.
Yeah, that is an option.
Be wary, they have a lot of wizards, so probably have some pretty decent detection spells.
Do they have a lot of wizards?
They have a lot of wizards.
The Duke has lots of wizards. Not the Duke of the Bear, not the Duchess of the Rabbit, though.
No,
I guess I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm mistaken.
You're actually not entirely sure what her main assets are outside shit tons of wealth.
All right.
She's
There
incredibly
are
rich, but you don't know much more than that.
animal options, if nothing else.
All right. Well, let's go there and see what's up first of all.
Quickly refill my drink while we're waiting for Halldamir still.
Yes.
Okey-doke.
I will also get a drink. I'll be right back.
I will do the same then.
I guess I will say. I don't have any drinks that I need to fill. Oh, dog is the noise. Oh, we're back. Would you, Halldamir, be taking, Charlotte and, Harpy to the ball?
I mean, not to the ball per se.
Or, to the city at least.
Yeah.
Because we were thinking Harpy for her, like, gossip and Charlotte for because she's your
Yeah, yeah.
underling.
My squire.
Yeah.
Of sorts. Apprentice.
Others are eating some glasses of water or something, filling their drinks.
Okay, cool. Yeah, sorry. Baby sometimes is a pain in the ass. I just want
I mean, yeah, it's a baby. What can you expect?
It is. It doesn't help he's teething either.
No, yeah.
He's
What do you think Halldamir of the court being brought along?
yeah, I'm cool with it.
People bringing along their squires alongside because Lady Masara, who, let's be honest, would just jump aboard the ship if you didn't ask her.
Yeah. I mean
I
we
mean,
need
Seth
to
would
take-
bring him along, and Seth is very interesting in this Assassin's thing.
And then, of course, you have Lady Serena the Harpy.
I like her. I've got a few tasks for her. I mean, I want her to rumor spread amongst the lower, middle, higher nobility, wherever she.
Just certainly something she can do. She's very good at that.
She's very good at it. So wherever she can get her talents into, we want good rumor spreading about.
I mean, she's basically a character who put all of her skill points into charisma and a few leftover points into intelligence. So.
Yeah. Okay, that's basically me.
But you added magic to it.
I added magic.
Magic.
Yeah, instead she added expertise deception
Yeah. There you go.
and expertise persuasion. You see where she went.
She's very, very persuasive.
She is really good at a very limited number of things.
Mm.
The other thing she has expertise in is expertise clothing tools.
Of course.
Makes sense. Yes.
It makes sense though with who she is. Definitely not a combat character. Though technically speaking, she can do sneak attack with a needle. With a sewing needle, so take that as you will.
Pretty badass.
I mean, she probably won't still kill anyone, but the point is, still will hurt.
So saying that, I mean, I can look at my level 14 monk, and the like pluses to things aren't really that much higher. Things considered. I mean, like the highest skill bonus that I have on Ceres is +7. The highest I have on Artemisia, my monk, is +10.
Mm-hmm. 5e's much flatter.
It really is. I mean, the weapon doesn't count because my monk has a Holy Avenger, but yeah, it's so much flatter regardless of how high a level you get. My son is raining chaos in the bedroom, apparently. Is that thieves can't for back?
It's undercommon actually.
Undercommon. Oh.
Yeah,
Oh.
I mean, I'm originally from a thieves guild, so
Makes sense. Makes sense. Ah. Oh, if you hover over, tells you.
But you know the portraits, it will highlight who said it.
Yeah, I know, but it's also like if you hover over the little green circle, it tells you what language it was as well. Seems a little redundant, but
oh yeah, cool.
Gotta make sure you really know.
I'm back as well.
Welcome back. All the ready checks in chat while waiting for everyone.
Yeah.
Yep.
I made some toast.
If only the /ready check could work here.
Yeah, I know, right? Countdown.
Sadly, not an option.
Man, I had a keyboard that had like special buttons just for WoW raiding. How much would
I'll have a look on Foundry to see if there's anyone's made a ready check module.
Surely they must have, right?
Oh, that's.
I mean, if they haven't, it's going to be a very easy module to build.
Yeah.
So
I think there are some of like that.
but very well. Unless anyone objects, I suppose the entire group packs their bags and get ready to set sail.
Aye.
I think we do, yeah.
Now, while this is probably going to be a completely redundant thing, but no one here gets seasick, do they?
No.
Probably not.
Of which, has anyone here? Do you feel any of your characters have any of your characters had experience on a boat before, or alternatively, not had experience on a boat before?
I would imagine that at some point, Ceres went on a boat with royalty, the royal family. At some point, I feel like royalty just can't get away with not going on a sailboat. At some point,
True.
I think it's like law, right?
Despite nobles being allergic to water, they seemingly get close to it a lot.
Yacht.
Oh yes, Le Royal Yacht.
Gotta go yachting. I maybe like a pleasure barge or something, but sailing for real? No, I don't think so.
I can imagine going to one of the distant parts of the realm. Take a boat. I don't know.
It's going to be quicker, especially when you're heading up somewhere like up to the north, like here from down the south. Much easier to go by boat.
Sometimes. If it's okay, Doc, I will send one of the spells for the trip and cast it on the party, daily.
Okay.
That spell being obviously water breathing. Just in case.
Just in case something happens, you have water breathing.
That is very smart. Very, very smart.
That's a smart move right there. What happens when
Your
you cast...
early morning water breathing spell.
What happens when you cast Ray of Frost underwater?
You freeze yourself and you die. No, I'm kidding.
You cast it normally. It's a magic.
The trip on Captain Estilian's boat is, to be honest, it's a fairly fast trip. The fine vessel he commands moves quickly through the ocean. Regardless of icebergs and other issues, he and his crew seem very, very competent at what they do. But again, this definitely appears to be a ship which is more militaristic than simply trade vessel. There's clear signs in the vessel of weaponry and armaments being below deck. Though there are quarters for you, as if they'd be expecting guests to get aboard.
I feel like this was definitely a power move. Like a, here's my muscle.
Showing up with a battleship to give you escort.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
You do get the sense if a pirate showed up, for example, a pirate fleet would be blown out the water by Captain Estilian.
Yeah. It's also an offer too. I mean, it's like, yeah, here's my big ship to blow you up, but also I'm letting you on it. So there's some trust in that as well, I think.
Quite nice.
So, escorting us safely, presumably.
Yeah.
Presumably.
Captain Estilian basically flirts with Ceres the entire trip.
Oh, she
You also
loves
notice
that.
that Captain Estilian's own appearance seems to have changed slightly. Before he had very much platinum blonde hair, and it's become a much more vibrant blonde now.
Oh. Well.
Oh, is he an Eladrin?
You believe he is, yes.
Oh, rarity.
Ceres leans even closer somehow. Oh, do tell.
Moreover, there are times where you see where crew are slacking off, and suddenly Captain Estilian just teleports right behind them, and like, excuse me.
Liking this man more and more.
Oh no.
Not this interest.
There won't be a love interest until he becomes at least an admiral.
I mean, that might be
you know, guys, I'm not saying that Sarah is a gold digger, but I have never seen her date someone who is poor. I'm just saying.
That's true.
I mean, she just likes certain type of men.
Yes, she likes certain things.
Powerful.
Oh my.
Valky, can you give me a D100?
Yes, I can.
That's Estinian's prowess roll.
Let's see.
The D100, that's what he calls it. I call it the D100.
I need to remember how to do things. Okay, there we go. 69.
Nice.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
I'm sorry.
It really is going to be one of these sessions.
You really
My
can't
favorite
ban
part
that.
is on the list of things. 69 on the event list is Estinian tries to flirt with a member of the party. He's already doing that anyway.
Just extra flirty.
Extra
Oh.
flirt.
Goodness gracious.
Basically, the biggest sea monster you have to worry about is Estinian himself.
Oh,
Estinian
He'll
serpent, alright.
show you his sea snake.
Alright.
I can think like the three old men giggling in the background instead of just like, you know, being courted by this captain.
Oh god.
Cyrus also does get a love poem from Estinian.
Of course.
Aw.
And it is the sappiest, hopeless romantic kind of like thing, yeah. Like ever since I laid eyes upon you, the light of the dawn can't even compare.
Oh, man.
This man's gonna get his poor little heart broken when he finds out like how horrific Ceres
used.
actually is.
Yeah, you don't know if he's fully fallen head over heels for him, but at least his and nothing else, hopelessly romantic, and it's endearing and
He's trying his best.
It's cute, you know. It's
Yeah.
It's working.
Though actually, the Elven Courtship phase, this could end up lasting a decade potentially.
Yeah, I mean, some of you might die before it ends.
Oh,
God,
wow.
certainly not rushing this, huh?
It's Elven Courtship. Well, how long do you think it takes? Like, oh.
Guess take your
Depends
time to
on how
bury
elf-
me then. Oh, jeez.
Some elves can move quickly, but others it can take quite a while for them to, get serious.
Yeah, you know, Cyrus is young elf still. Yes,
Exactly.
just time.
I don't need to settle down yet.
I could listen for a few decades to this.
More like a century, maybe, you know.
Uh-huh.
Playing hard to get, as always.
Uh-huh. You know, I'll only be in my early 300s at that point. So.
It's ready to
I was
settle
married
down.
in that age.
I was back in my day. You
Okay,
married in
boomer.
your 200s.
Yes.
The good news is the boat ride is going to cut down what should have been like a 3-week trek
That's
to
good.
being 5-6 days.
Alright.
Not too bad, actually.
These sort of large ships are also rather, like, reasonably comfortable to actually be on as well.
It is pretty comfortable, yeah, and clearly Captain Estinian has his rooms and the guest rooms all appear to be very well lavishly furnished.
Oh.
Right,
Very
at least
nice.
so.
It's clearly a military vessel, but clearly he spent his personal paycheck on making sure the furniture is up to scratch.
Oh, of course, of course.
His crew seem content enough either. It doesn't seem to be driving them too hard in particular. Despite him occasionally appearing behind them and like, hey, what you're doing when they're slacking off. He seems fairly lax with the crew for the most part. But days pass. And it's relatively calm. And it's late on the kind of 5th day of travel. And it's been rather foggy all day so far. And up ahead, I imagine Vickers might be out on deck at the moment.
Yes.
As he sees in the distance a bright shining light through the fog. Kind of flickers on and then off. On, then off.
Oh. Is he familiar with that kind of thing?
Well, you hear from one of the crew call out, Lan Ho. That's probably the lighthouse you're seeing ahead.
Indeed. I'm just thinking if he's ever seen one before.
Probably not from this perspective.
No.
Not from being out on the deep ocean in a fog, like seeing a lighthouse in distance.
Yeah. It's cool.
Thankfully, no pirates have been an issue during this trip.
That's good.
So again, given the armaments on the ship, pirates would probably have a bad day. But yes, as in the evening, you end up eventually arriving in the city of Port Silverswift, which, as it kind of pulls properly in horizon, everyone's kind of called up to deck. It is a massive city. So far, you guys have seen relatively small settlements by comparison. Settlements where a couple thousand people, maybe capping out at 10,000 people. Maybe. But even then, most, like all the ones in your own territory so far, cap at only a couple thousand. No, this thing, we are talking probably more than 10,000 people, possibly more than that.
Oh,
Wow.
It is a massive port, and by many considered to be one of the jewels of the North. Largely probably due from its massive trade connections, and secondly due to the sheer amount of wealth poured into the city through the Silver Isles trade network.
right.
There are little strategic value here, except its position. And its position is perfect. But welcome to the city of the rabbit.
Oh,
I like the arrow. This is the rabbit here.
I like the rabbit, yeah. Oh, this looks great.
Hi, rabbit.
It is a beautiful city from a distance, with fine buildings and architecture that's old but very well kept. Very much like heading around kind of any European city in that sense of like having like these old buildings that are that have been very well preserved over the centuries. Snow, of course, tops various buildings as always. It never quite lets up, though it has been getting thinner as you've been approaching summer. Though notably, what you also see as soon as you pull into port, the ship's getting very close. And you see streaming from building to buildings, these kind of long streaming ribbons of like paper, like paper decorations and displays all over the place. You know, all the little kind of things you imagine for a festival, colorful little banners and such, all over the place. Like every single like building you pass on the ship, all seemingly covered in them. And from what you said, probably the entire city by the looks of it is completely covered. The entire city seemingly literally just being turned into one giant festival. And even as you pull up into the port, you can hear the sound of musicians playing away. Some serious money's been poured into this. You also notice in the port several other ships here, including one ship that catches Amonis's eye. Because that ship bears the royal crest upon it.
Oh ho.
My intrigue.
There's no of course, there's no guarantee it's your sister or anything, but clearly someone connected to the royal family is clearly in the city at the moment.
Get them.
I mean, you're a heretic to them, right? At this point, so
I don't know exactly what they view me as, honestly. I mean,
Maybe it's better you don't find out 100% yet.
all right.
I think they view you
Like-
as should be dead.
You should be
Awesome.
dead, and if
Yep.
you're not dead for some reason, we should dead you.
Yeah.
prepare to be deaded.
Yeah.
But yes, welcome to the very lively and rather chaotic city of Silverswift. A free haven of trade, merchantry, and, well, honestly, at the moment, partying.
Way.
You have arrived in the eastern docks over here. the Captain Estidian is going to moor his ship before heading off to the Three Swords Tavern for a drink for his crew. He does invite, of course, Ceres to come and join him for drinks, if you're so inclined.
Oh, we just had 5 days on the open seas, man. You can wait a little while. But of course, she's more flowery about it.
Yeah.
He shall await your arrival.
Ah.
For the rest of you, however, yes, you arrive in the city of merriment and entertainment. The ball is still several days away. This is basically a week-long festival going on, and you've arrived towards the start of it because you took the shortcut.
Sure.
Which means you have quite a bit of time before the actual ball is due, which gives you plenty of time to explore the city and pursue any leads you might, or listen to any rumours, do any searching, or otherwise just go shopping.
Can our dear captain direct us to a suitable lodging that we might set up in?
Yeah. What is what would you recommend? What's a good one? I mean, we need pretty fancy, right?
Ah,
Like
yeah.
something that like caters to us, you know?
He would
We
recommend,
have been invited to the Three Swords, right?
yes, the Free Sword is more a drinking hall than anything, though.
Yeah.
Right.
If you want somewhere to really enjoy yourself, he would recommend the Ruby Chalice in the Raven Chapel.
Oh, the Ruby Chalice.
Mm.
It's a fine hotel, often visited by many nobles. So
All right, that sounds good.
Hmm.
No.
you get the slight sense of Estonians where it might be a little bit too expensive for his own blood.
Right.
Yeah.
How expensive are we talking for like a week? Like, got a little bit of money.
I mean, send the bill, right?
Oh god, that's so
I mean-
not
I mean,
okay.
you can literally, if you want to, just put the bill for the Ruby Chalice and just say, literally just send it to Raiden.
Yeah, send it to Raiden. That's
Yeah.
the bill.
Yeah.
This is an official mission, guys.
I mean,
You know, we could tap into official funds.
at least in that case, Raiden won't lose any Raiden's loyalty. If it is in that case, that is actually official state business. So that's actually
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Okay.
it's slightly different. It's slightly different if you spent it on coke and hookers. Then he might be upset.
I won't say that. It will say entertainment.
I think it's will hang back and confer with Masara a bit here. Do you think it might be better for our conspicuousness to go the tavern route just for the two of us instead of holding up in a hotel? What does she think?
I mean, hiding out in a hotel may end up being a better place actually for secrecy. Here, by her thoughts, given the fact that her enemies stripped her of most of her wealth, they're likely not expecting her to be able to be anywhere of high riches.
Well, that's a good point, to be honest. We go where
I
the
mean,
least
she's hoping her
expected to
enemies think
be.
she's dead, but she doesn't know that or not.
Yes, well, now that she's here in town, perhaps she can. Well, you know, she's an expert of disguise. I'm sure she can figure something out. But yeah, maybe we'll go
You
to
say
hotel
that you
route
water, and she already just looks like some macho man instead of a normal look.
then. I'm like, okay.
Disguise magic. How useful it is.
How useful it is. It's disguise magic self only.
Normally.
Ah, I see. Okay then. Well, we'll go the hotel route then because we'll be up where they least would expect her to be, even if they probably don't think she's alive or nearby anyway. So
Moreover, it keeps the group together, which is probably not a bad thing.
yeah, it's probably a good thing.
Checking into the Ruby Chalice, it is a fine establishment. This is a very opulent kind of location as you arrive. As soon as you arrive, there's someone at the door to greet you, collect your bags if you have any. As you're brought to the counter, and the person at the counter immediately just seems to know your name as soon as you arrive.
Oh wow.
Lord Amanus Zeal of the Highlands.
Amulas will give a polite nod, indicating that the man is correct, and then he will grunt, "We will be staying for the festivities. I trust there is room."
We have multiple rooms available. We have our silver class package, our gold class package, or the platinum penthouse.
Oh. I mean, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. The platinum penthouse, please.
Exquisite taste.
Of course.
He will provide you keys to the platinum penthouse. Your all inclusive 5-course dinner is a dinner he'll give you the time for.
Ah, yes. Very good.
In addition, the sauna is available for you on the second floor.
Ah, yes. Soak my weary bones after all the travel on the seas.
In addition, dry cleaning and armor polishing is available on the lower floor.
Oh, yes. Send it up immediately.
All of this just now being paid for at Raiden's expense.
Yep.
Make sure they don't steal that crown off you.
Oh. They wouldn't dare.
They bite, so
Think I should have my aura on just to be safe.
Aura, what's that mean?
Yeah. All enemies, freeze in place.
Oh no, I don't think so. I don't think that's necessary. I don't think we'd be allowed in anymore if that was the case.
Would tell us who's my enemy,
Everyone.
Oh no.
Walking through this place, Vickers probably feels slightly out of place just for the fact that it seems like everyone here is the kind of person who could at will probably pour at least 4, if not like 4 digits worth of coin out of his pocket anytime.
I mean, Seth feels out of this place.
Yeah. I mean, Vickers has certainly been to some events in the past, but not. He's never been comfortable, I suppose, mingling with those of the noble class because while his job is to do so, doesn't necessarily mean he's comfortable with them.
It's very clear that this kind of establishment would not normally be possible in any city except the most richest or the most influential.
Yeah.
Let's be honest, you don't get this. There's not the kind of service most cities could afford to offer as a hotel. And I will say the Platinum Suite, excellent choice as you arrive.
Yes.
It's got these fine beds. They've got like fine multi-layer silk sheets, stuffed with the finest of peacock feathers.
Ooh, that's very fancy for sure.
You know how most hotels in real life we end up having like a mini fridge full of like little snacks and everything.
Yes.
Well, first you have a private wine rack in there.
Oh yes.
And there's also a complimentary shelf of healing potions. Just in case any emergency comes up and you ever need them.
Oh, that's very good. Very good. Compliments of the house.
You also realise as soon as you enter in, at least anyone in the room who's magically inclined realise as soon as they enter in, the entire room is warded from scrying.
That's great.
That is very great, actually.
As you can see the runes carved on the inside of the doorway as you enter in. Though they're very well blended into like the architecture of the doorway.
It was a very wise purchase, this. I can truly enact any sort of illicit business in here.
It has a very expensive day-by-day cost, but that's fine, because again, it's going to the treasury, not you.
That's right.
We're going to be broke when we come back.
Nonsense. We just, that crystal mine, right? It's going to pay for some stuff.
That you sent 2 people to so far, yeah.
Yeah. Working on it.
I mean, there'll be some voluntary workers there as well, but...
Yeah, it's voluntary.
Voluntary conscription, yeah.
Yes.
I will describe a few habits as you only just got back. The group decided to go with the platinum penthouse suite in the chapel, in the Rudy Chalice.
Sounds
I
about
thought
right.
you would. I thought you would agree.
I would appreciate. Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Private
Smart
accommodations
decision.
include a wine rack up there, free
Naturally.
access to the sauna downstairs, as well as armor cleaning services and dry cleaning. Fine multi-layer silk sheets for the bed, stuffed with fine peacock feathers. And there's also complimentary healing potions, and the entire room appears to be warded against scrying, to the best of your telling.
I think we need platinum suites in our keep, you know?
Most people cannot afford this because this is ridiculously expensive.
Well, we are like special.
Yeah.
I mean, in theory, if you have enough wealth to flaunt around, this is the kind of thing you could get.
At least this will turn some heads, right? Right?
I think it's a good place to hold court, if nothing else.
Yeah, and there are plenty of beds. You have the entire top floor to yourself, and you have like a wonderful view of the surrounding district. It's great.
Ryden's going to have an aneurysm.
In the kind of in the private bathroom you have, the entire floor is undercovered by slight bit of heat stones. The entire floor is heated.
That's wonderful.
Oh, my.
Okay.
I could sound this place even more.
Which is great. Also, given the fact you're also in a very cold climate, having heated floors is pretty much mandatory here. For luxury. Yeah, it is opulent to the highest degree. This is the kind of thing, yeah, as I said, only the kind of city where you have not just the rich, like the ridiculously filthy rich, could you get away with having something like this in a hotel. But given the kind of things that, given how the Duchess's balls go each year, not a surprise, necessarily. As apparently they tend to be, from what you understand, they tend to be one of the major social events for really the entire Radiant Kingdom's calendar each year. She goes out of her way to make sure that she becomes center of attention, if even if it's only for a week or two.
Sure. I mean, this is great. Because, while we're here, we might try to do some socializing or
There's also
find out.
means other important dukes or duchesses could be in attendance.
Yes.
Especially when they haven't pissed her off.
And now we have a wonderful place to meet and discuss matters of state with these people.
Yeah. It is quite late in the day, of course, when you got here and checked in.
Uh-huh.
But if there's anything you wish to do on the evening of your first night here, you are free to.
Yes. I think Seth would go right to work and, make a scouting of the city. Trying to, look, assassins of, possible
Look
places
for
like that.
assassins. All right.
But, he will go as him or as a animal that fits for the city for an hour or two. Actually, he can watch. How many hours I can be animal? I can be animal for 3 hours. So, he will go scouting because he doesn't want to be in this fancy, opulent hotel room that it's way too up for him.
But look, you've got a bed up there now.
Yes, come and sleep on the peacock feathers.
That's not, but everything else is just,
Oh yeah, I also forgot to mention Halldamir. It was a 5-course meal you get for free as well.
Oh yeah.
I'm man of the woods. This is way too much for me now.
There's also complimentary breakfast in the morning.
Of course.
Brought up to your room, the breakfast, of course, is. So.
Of course. I will have the winter Eladrin breakfast set, please.
Again, exquisite taste.
Yes.
It's like
you get the sense of cool, whatever your taste is exquisite, but doesn't change the fact that they like slavering.
I mean, I am truly. That's the difference.
Because you're the one ordering, clearly it's extravagant.
Exactly.
An also amazing choice. Yeah, what exactly would Zed like to scout out?
He will go for outer areas first, because he thinks those are the obvious places. Maybe ask some guidance from Vikas and these kind of things.
Yeah,
But then
he'll
just go
definitely come along to
scouting.
help.
Yeah, but
Well,
he will tell he will be scouting as an animal.
the city is honestly enormous. It's broken up into districts for a reason.
Yeah.
We can keep in touch while you go our separate ways.
The current district you're in is Raven's Chapel. A rather fancy district. You get the sense everyone in this district is probably, at least the middle class, if not better. There are streets lined with, various fine shops. Occasionally, you're finding rather interesting statues around the place as well, which will definitely catch your eye. Because many of them are just of peculiar things. You run across a statue, for example, of an orc holding a wheel of cheese. There's no nameplate on it. You're not sure why there's a statue of an orc with a wheel of cheese, but there is one.
Oh.
And further on the district, you end up finding a statue of a dragon wearing a top hat.
Oh, that's great. We need that back home.
And no nameplate describing why the statue is here. It just seems to be there, and just no one seems to be batting an eye about it. It seems to be just, this is normal. This doesn't even appear to be something added for the festival. This just appears to be normal. Though the decorations of the festival certainly line the place. Though you are in a slightly upper class part of the city, which might explain some things there.
Yeah, it's a cultural thing, I guess. Says Drax.
It's not clear. Yeah, you are in kind of the middle class, upper class district at the moment, so
He will ask Seras about it at some point.
If you would like, you can each roll for rumors if you so choose.
By what? Rolling
Rolling for rumors is a D100.
Okay.
There's a lot going on in the city.
42.
42. Let's see. You hear a scandalous rumor that apparently the governor of the district of Cheese Crown. You question yourself when you hear Cheese Crown as the name of the district.
I do, yeah.
Apparently has been caught having an affair. Apparently with one of the other governor's wives.
Oh my.
Oh no.
Scandalous.
Great, we can use that.
Notes down. Cheese Crown, yes.
Though the fact it's called Cheese Crown perhaps was more the stunning point there.
I've heard weirder places, but this town for sure. A bit of a weird name.
Yeah.
I'll
Would Vickers like to roll for a rumor?
Yes. Let me
That's
do
maybe 100 as well.
65.
You've heard for the festival, the Atali Trade Guild has hired a hot air balloon that will be running out of the central park of the city.
Hot air balloon. What kind of sorcery is this?
Well, that's probably something which Vickers also questions, yes.
Yeah. Wait, what is a hot air balloon? He doesn't even know what that is.
Oh,
Probably.
it's this marvelous thing. It's you've seen the small like firelit kites, right, that people float around sometimes.
Yes.
Or the little lanterns that can float through there. Imagine that, but big enough to carry a person around in a basket.
The person gets a raised eyebrow from Vickers, but he doesn't say anything else. He's seen weirder things. Magic
The
exists.
noble woman seems to like this is completely like this is fabulous, like unusual, but at the same time she's loving it.
So when is it running? Like when is it going?
There are rides. There are a couple of rides being done exclusively each day around noon.
Okay.
No, that seems definitely suspicious. You propose to fly a person around by lighting a fire under a balloon. That's absolute madness.
Yeah, it sounds like some murder's going on there.
Yes, it's gonna be a spectacular explosion.
Yeah.
Like they're just gonna fall to the death, or nothing's gonna happen.
A certain gnome would have certainly liked about these things.
Oh yeah, if she was here, she would blow that up.
There's your 2 rumors in chat for you.
Oh, wonderful. Okay. So, in the context of all this, remind me of the premise of what Lady Masara's mission is here exactly.
So Lady Masara has of course been tracking the Assassins of Coldwater, a infamous group of assassins throughout all of kind of the Radiant Kingdom for their activities. They are known as some of the kind of finest class of assassins there are. But apparently the payment they received for the hit on her family got routed through Port Silverswift.
Right.
Notably something in the ghost dockyards.
Guess we need to go sleuthing in the ghost dockyards then.
Where's the start?
Yeah, she wants to figure out who hired them, who hired the hit against her family, and of course retribution might be needed.
Yes, indeed.
What was the name of the assassins?
What's that?
What was the name of the assassins?
Coldwind.
Cold Harbor.
Cold
Harbor.
Blades of Cold Harbor, that's the official name.
Oh.
All right. Well, I mean, clearly she's been planning this for ages. So what does she want to do first?
Her thought is, if the group is so willing, perhaps perhaps going down to the docks tomorrow morning and just seeing if she can pick up any whiff of what might be going on there.
Well, let's canvass the place, yeah.
There's a bit of a market around the dock area, so she's hoping she might blend into the crowd and hopefully something will stand out to her.
All right.
Though, of course, you're all free to listen out as well, see if you can figure out anything. She's worried, though, because it's been quite some time. It's possible the trail's getting cold now.
I think in that case, in the morning, everyone's more than welcome to come with as well. But I think particularly, Vickers, Masara, and Theo are going to basically be how would I say, the moving parts of this observation. Like they're going to be connected, thought-wise at least, to Vickers, and it's going to be like hyper vigilant, so we can cover three areas at once, and then the other party can cover more ground as well.
The rest of the party perhaps doing more of the social aspects of.
Yeah.
No, Seth will join with Vickers and be like also, if needed, an animal scout.
That sounds good,
You can
because
tell dolphins
people are certainly less inclined probably to talk about things when people are around. So if you can listen in as an animal, that's great.
I can be an animal for 6 hours in a day.
Yeah, and I can connect to 3 people, so it'd be you, Theo, and Masara in that case. So.
Hell, if you wanted to, you could still connect to someone else, because Theo could always link his connection to you.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Well, the king then, I guess, because why not?
King needs to know the details.
King needs to know.
I mean, the rumors can be very useful.
Oh yes.
Yeah. You're certainly your telepathy is slightly more versatile than Theo's in the sense that you can do to multiple people at once.
Yeah, his is very good though. It's longer range.
He's got long range, but only one target. So.
Yeah, still good though.
But very well, you head down towards the ghost dockyards. Again, you're not entirely sure why it has the name that, though you could always try to inquire if you potentially feel like. It appears to be, though, a bustling area of docks. In particular, you notice what appears to be multiple areas of dry dock area where boats are either being repaired or built from scratch. Including right now what appears to be this absolutely enormous warship being built.
Oh wow.
This thing, I mean, the ship you thought was big, this thing is, oh boy. This thing must be, what, 4 levels tall, each of which seems to have cannons?
Good lord.
Or these cannons with blister slots in them. It's like, oh boy.
Place is loaded.
You're not sure who it's being, you're not sure who it's being made for, though given some of the signals for it, Amonis at least thinks, looking at a distance at that, is that being made for the Royal Fleet?
Oh,
Wow.
that is a very fancy commission.
Sabotage.
Obviously, this is obviously, a ship like this takes years to build, but still, it's clearly been going for a while now.
It's fine. If we learn anything from naval powers in our own real world, all we need to do is convince them to gild it as much as possible.
Yeah.
And then it will sink several hundred yards out
Yeah.
of docks.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
then it will become one of the most well-preserved ancient ships in a few hundred years.
That's great.
If
We
you wish to
haven't
try
seen.
sabotaging it, that is also an option on the table.
Yeah, I took the idea from the Swedish flagship.
Oh yeah, it was incredibly ostentatious. It sailed out and sank immediately.
Yeah, it was just
like
too
in
top
sight
heavy.
of the harbor.
Yeah.
it just keeled over and sank.
They covered it in gold because they were like,
Yeah.
"This is our flagship. This will be a beauty. It's amazing." And they just see it topple over.
Yep.
Someone didn't do their buoyancy calculations.
No, there was,
So funny.
that was certainly a thing that happened.
And now it's one of the greatest preserved shipwrecks from that.
Well, yeah, the ocean does nothing to gold.
It does absolutely. It also doesn't help. Well, it helps that it was taken out of the
Yes, we brought it up
very quickly.
and it's a huge museum like built around the shipwreck. So you
Point
can walk
is,
inside.
regardless, like gold and water don't they don't react at all, so it'll stay there anyway.
Yeah,
Sure.
Yeah.
it's beautiful. The more you know. Go to
Yes,
go to the
the
museum.
more you know, for sure.
The area around the ghost docks, though, like there is a fine market bit going on, and you see various little stalls going ahead, seemingly being run by various business owners and such. Around here, there's many simple things going on. You see someone holding like a stall where it's just about playing a game of darts. So the darts seem unusually heavy.
Oh,
But
wow.
seemingly there are some kind of prize for those who do particularly well.
Hmm.
There appears to be sign-ups for a drinking contest later today, sponsored by one of the breweries.
Oh yeah. So something that I learned in my questioning is that we can gain invitations by being extraordinary during these early festivities.
Oh, really?
So if you like do something like super duper cool, you might get noticed by
Basically,
the Duchess.
What Sarah's discovered is in previous years, when this has gone on, certain individuals who through their kind of acts of the festivities, either by being like merchants of it or being patrons of them, have done things that have really stood out to either the Duchess or to her court. Have sometimes received invitations from the court personally,
Yeah.
Okay.
as they basically like a thank you for taking part in the festivities.
Sure. Okay. What were the contests again?
Here you have found what appears to be a drinking contest hosted by one of the local breweries, and a small
Okay.
and an area of where it appears to be a rigged dart game. The rigged dart game is probably not the most exciting thing in the world.
Do the drinking contest, but take Amanas's tankard of sobriety.
Tankard,
There
yeah.
you go. Yeah.
I think they'll use their own tankards for that.
Yeah, you have to make sure you don't get caught.
Yeah.
Ah, it's true. Sleight of hand, maybe. I mean, the loaded dart game seems interesting. Sure, Vickers could figure something out with that.
I think it's loaded in more than one way.
Yeah.
Moreover, there are various market stalls currently selling various things, including these little stuffed rabbit toys in seemingly honor of the Duchess.
Yay, stuffed rabbits.
Ah,
Pretty
definitely gonna have
adorable.
to get one of those. Yeah. Send it to the room.
Yeah. Gift wrap this. Send it to a room.
Gift wrapped it. Send it to the platinum suite. Yeah.
Oh. Oh
Hmm.
boy. Oh,
That is
goodness.
what
But
King's
it
orders.
really does seem like the entire city, even if not every individual, you at least get the set. Like it feels like the entire city, if nothing else, is fully kind of embracing the festivities.
All right.
And from what you can tell, the businesses seem to be loving it, though you're wondering how much coin they've received in sponsorship for doing these as well. Regardless, though, everyone seems pretty happy. You also even notice like some of the vendors, like there are still people clearly working. Like you still see people working on the ships, for example, like repairing them and building them and such. But you see occasionally, like some people from down the markets, seemingly after like a big order being made and then bringing like alcohol up to the merchants up there.
Sure.
Clearly, it's very wild, but it's, well, seemingly everyone's getting getting a taste of luxury.
All right. Busy.
But of course, yes, this then leads to what the group wants to try and achieve here at the Ghost Docks. Masara, of course, is going to try and listen out for rumors and talks, spy around a little bit. But the question is, how all of you want to try to gather information?
Well, thing is, like for Amanas, he's not really good at this spying stuff at all. So I was actually thinking of instead of like skulking around the docks, he might just try to hold court back at the hotel in a way. I mean, he has the platinum suite. There are a lot of important people around. Maybe he can, invite a what do we call it? A royal salon or something like that, to just butter up local important people, or famous rulers and whatnot from the other regions around here. Because it's much better in such a setting than sneaking around the harbor.
It's certainly a possibility. On the lower floors of the there is of course the main restaurant where all the meals are served. Where it's certainly possible to run into someone down there who is particularly who might catch your interest.
Yeah, like especially if there are like envoys and nobles and whatnot from faraway places that we can't access readily. I mean, we have contacted and befriended most of our neighbors at this point, but there might be people from further afield, that could be useful to us and useful to know.
I think we can use perhaps the harpy can help us gather.
Yeah,
such
maybe
Yeah.
the harpy can wingman Amanas a bit here. Arkland, being his servant, like helping him serve and just,
The harpy would certainly be happy to help introduce you to certain nobles.
yeah.
This should be fun for her.
Most excellent.
Okay. Cyrus plan to what does Cyrus plan to do with all of this?
I think the most important thing for Ceres being here is to gather as much intel as she can on the shakers and movers for this party, and try and dig up as much dirt as she can on them in the short period of time she has. But at the moment, she's going into this whole party a bit. What I'm thinking of, light on information, a bit blind. So she wants to be able to go in there a bit more prepared.
Okay. So you'll perhaps join Amanus in the kind of just talking, some of the speaking and talking and
I mean, she would
smoozing around
be.
the chapel.
I imagine she would be. I mean, she is the diplomat, and she's very charismatic and very diplomatic, and also very handsome. So I think the two of them could probably do pretty well in the bar. Sorting out nobles, inviting them to private conversations up in the suites, stuff like that.
I would imagine so, yeah. I think we could do rather well for ourselves.
Okay. I'll allow each of you to make a choice, sir. You can either try to improve relations with some, though you don't necessarily know which, but improve relations with a with some other noble faction.
Yeah.
You can attempt to gather rumors or information.
Yeah.
Or you can try to you can either improve relations with some kind of foreign power. Make the gather information or dig up dirt, or alternatively try to meet someone particularly useful for the upcoming party.
All right.
Up to you. You can each pick one of those to try and do for the moment.
Right.
Then we'll roll to see exactly how well that turns out, and then we'll play through the scene related.
Amanas will try to befriend or like improve relations. He thinks he has had some luck with this in the past. The speech, the dwarves. He believes that he might be somewhat known at this point. And just try to keep spinning on that good fortune, right? You just keep that ball rolling.
Okay. You may roll a persuasion check to see how well it goes for this.
All right. Let's see.
As Amanas spends his day meeting and greeting and smoozing.
You have Arkan with you, right?
I do.
You may go ahead and add whatever I roll on the next thing to it.
Yeah. Let's see here. Well,
We had one.
One is
well.
better than 0.
It's okay. It's okay. I rolled pretty good.
27. That's very
Yeah,
good.
19. Is that good enough for you?
Guess we'll see.
Pretty good.
Pretty that good.
Yeah, definitely pretty good.
Good.
Can you roll me a d8?
Sure. I did an R. I haven't done this in a while. There we go. 6.
6. Interesting. Amna sits down and enjoys a rather interesting conversation with a fellow noble, a rather well-dressed gentleman with a rapier at his side, who seemed to talk to you and compliment you on your armor.
Yeah. Yes.
You get into a rather nice back and forth. He appears to, he appears to think of himself as a disciple of the blade as well. Too many nobles out there who just lounge around, never bother to learn how to actually defend their own.
Oh, yes, yes.
So troublesome.
Yes, it is troublesome. It is all well and good to rule, but you also need to defend. If you can't keep what you have, then it is not really yours, is it?
What did you say your name was again? My apologies, I think I missed it.
I am Amanas Seal. What was the name of the Elven city again? Sorakai?
Yeah.
I am the ruler of Sorakai.
Oh,
Perhaps you have heard of us.
I have heard. So, if you don't mind me asking, some people have made whispers that the elves have finally deigned themselves to actually start trading with someone again. Is that true?
He smiles slightly and says, I can tell you that the city is operational, and even though we already have trading partners, we certainly are looking for more opportunities. We are small, but we are aggressive and expansive, and we see a lot of opportunities, especially with the current failings of of the rulers of the empire. There needs to be a change, and we believe we can bring that about. And we are gathering skilled and ambitious individuals to our cause. I am sure you can find many such people around, and they can all vouch for our resourcefulness and our trustworthiness.
I'll speak to my brother about this. He's the Earl of Valenwood, you understand. I'm sure I can put in good word for you.
Amnas racks his brain trying to remember what the earldom of Ravenwood is, or Valenwood.
Valenwood. That's a good question if Amnes remembers where that is. You can roll a history check if you so desire.
Oh boy, that's not gonna end up well for us, for anyone really. Let's see here.
I have nothing for that.
No,
No notes.
He will just nod, and say, "We will be delighted to have the good Earl hear of us. We are keen to make many friends. I believe we can be useful to each other." And yeah, if he wants to start talking details, Amanas will invite him for a private conversation up on the Platinum Suite. Yes. Share some of the wine, still drinking from his tankard. But
I mean, the Platinum Suite certainly shows that the elves are doing something fancy. No.
But yeah, his mission is glad handling, just buttering up people, making them like us more, and be interested in trading opportunities or other like diplomatic agreements. Basically, trying to just put us on the map, right? Because we had a big blowout, we had a huge celebration, rumors going around, but you need to keep that rumor going, like stoking it, and that's what he's doing here. He's showing up, trying to be as regal and lordly as he can, and be as magnanimous as he can, which is a fair bit when he has the mood. Yeah. Just when he walks a few days from now, when he walks through the hotel, he wants people to look at him and be like, "That's Amanas. I heard."
Mm-hmm. Well, certainly you've made a good first impression here on the first major noble you've run across.
I think so.
So, Ceres, what are you aiming? What do you? I gave you, of course, 3 options. Where are you aiming your?
Remind me of my options.
Your options are as follows. You could try to smooth some kind of diplomatic power that you won't be necessarily sure which you'll get, but smooth a diplomatic entity of some kind.
Mm-hmm.
You can try to specifically dig up dirt or information on a topic. Though, of course, given you're you're operating inside the Raven Chapel kind of district with all like fancy nobles, expect the kind of information possibly available here. Or your last option, specifically trying to look for some kind of asset for something coming up.
I think to align with Ceres's goals, you should be looking for advantages in the coming party. So yeah, I think we'll look for assets.
Okay, you're looking for some kind of asset here.
Right.
You can roll either deception or persuasion, your choice.
Okay. I'm pondering whether or not an inspiration usage is pertinent here. You know what? I shall do it. I'll inspire myself in this. And be persuasive.
Those love letters.
You know. 17. Not the best. Around average.
There's much debate going on, you hear, among many of the pettier nobles trying to figure out gifts to give to the Countess, in hopes that they might draw some more of her attention. And it's always, of course, complimentary if in the chance that they do get invited, that they should bring a gift with them. It's only fair. But the difficulty is, when you have someone who is ridiculously rich to every definition of the word, would you buy them?
That's a fair problem.
The standard might be bringing like a bottle of wine or something along, but
No, you need something exotic and exclusive, something you can't just buy.
yeah.
Maybe let's see. Maybe like a crystal from Sorakai or something, something like that. Bringing something from our homeland, as it were. This is the first brick laid in Sorakai.
You have a statue with a dragon with a top hat. We have a dragon with a top hat.
Well, one thing you do discover is confirming something you already had rumors of, which it does appear that she is quite the she is herself quite the potent caster in her own right.
All right.
Things of magical paraphernalia may catch her attention more than mundane gifts.
Of course.
Be that something like a mana crystal from Sorkai or something else is up to you. But certainly you think you may do better if you bring something of more magical persuasion as a gift instead of a just mundane gift.
Indeed. How to just leave over my... Because, of course, we do have one thing that I don't know if we'll use, but is magical of note. And I feel fits the nautical theme. We actually have an orb of direction in our group inventory.
Oh.
That you can always determine which way is north.
Yes.
Well, that's very nautical. I don't know if compasses are much of a thing or not. I don't know.
They are, but they can be unreliable at times.
I feel like that would fit the Duchess quite well here. What do you guys think? Perhaps a good gift for her?
I think you might already have something like that. I do think something more cultural, like from Sorakai, is the way to go here. Like something because Sorakai has been lost,
Yes.
There's not been anyone up there, and that is something that she might enjoy, being magical and stuff.
Just give her the orb of direction. Just make it all frosted. There you go. It's from Sorkai.
I mean, I have a blood amulet if you want to give that.
No.
No, that's
This is an orb of direction. It always points to Sorakai. So you can find us. You're great allies.
You technically could tweak the orb of direction.
So you can finally have some direction in your life. I mean,
Oh no! Uh-oh.
Pretty cool.
This shows you the best place to spend all your money.
Sorry,
Which it
Kai.
I mean,
For
for some reason, I have in my inventory a wand of conduction.
Oh, like the thing that shoots like confetti and stuff and
Yeah, the
other
musical thing.
things.
I don't know if that's very fitting or anything. You know, I have it some reason. I don't know if
Kinda
I
funny.
really have it.
That was a thing you found in quite a while ago.
Yeah.
Eh.
That
So
sounds
you know,
fun.
it's a free gift to give away, I guess.
I mean, we could make it. We could make it either very personal to us, or slightly more in the but I suppose mana crystal. I can imagine that Ceres has brought some of her research material.
It would make sense.
Several
I mean-
days worth of boating would be very boring for her if she did not,
Oh yeah.
and
You can
presumably,
give some magical research of some topic.
yeah, maybe, but
I doubt Ceres would want to give away anything anything that's like a written material from Sorkai, but
yeah.
How
But, like,
about this?
there were large crystals that were just unrefined that could be quite a good. We could just play it as like the first mana crystal mined from the mines of Sorkai.
Can mana crystals be fashioned into shapes? Because I'm thinking, how about a mana crystal from Sorakai in the shape of a rabbit?
Ooh.
Oh.
that it is possible to shape them, though very few crafters are willing to do that. Though it would not be impossible to find a crafter to do such.
Mm-hmm.
Because that could be something.
That
The
could be
first mana
something.
crystal from Sorakai in the shape of a rabbit for
You
her.
generally need to be a caster who knows what you're doing, or otherwise something like a dwarf where you're resistant to magic to really shape them. But
I mean,
Right.
Yeah.
Lady Masara or Mikara.
I was going to say, we have neither.
as it stands, that is not something you like. The city's big enough that finding someone capable of that is not out of question.
Let's find someone to do that then.
Very well.
Perhaps my dear captain knows someone.
Yeah, go out on a date and be like, actually, we want to find.
I like having
There's
a
one.
connection.
There's one thing you can do to win my heart, my dear captain.
Find me a dwarf.
Yes, find me a dwarf. He'll be like, what?
Trust me.
If you are willing to subject yourself to the captain on basic captain for the entire of day 2, I will allow him to automatically succeed the check for you for finding a appropriate crafter.
I think it's worth it. I think Ceres might suffer it.
Yeah.
Very well.
Ceres will take one for the team, as she will remind the king the burdens that she takes for our success.
On
Look
day
at
2,
his love
Ceres will be
letters.
indisposed for all of day and evening.
Wow.
The things I do for this court.
I presume the cost is going to be shipped to Raiden as well.
Yeah.
Excellent.
We read that there's no money in the treasury at
There's
all.
no money, it's all
spent.
gone. They can't.
Hey, state
Yeah.
business, so it's fine.
State is official state.
Official state business, damn it.
Yep.
Raiden will be checking all the things you marked down state business later, but
Is he gonna say no?
I mean, he can't, but he can still get annoyed at you.
Okay.
He can
very,
grumble.
very good.
If it's actual state business, then he won't get annoyed, but
You know, we allow him at least 3 grumbles a year. So.
It's his state business. It's progress towards improving state relations. So yeah, state business.
As I said, some things can be actively justified. It's just, he will still be looking at the receipts still.
Fine. If there's any issues, we'll talk it out and have a discussion.
We'll talk it out.
Yes, we shall talk.
Let me just close this door, Raiden.
I mean, last time I just gave him a bunch of money, he was like, "Oh, okay, thanks." Actually, that solved most of our problems. So maybe next time.
Yes, very well. Ceres can work on producing the perfect gift for the party. A mana crystal mined from Sorkai, shaped like a rabbit.
Excellent.
It's certainly a unique gift,
Yeah.
which is not a bad thing given the person you're going to meet.
Exactly.
if her entire seat didn't already spell it, she's a rather chaotic, chaotic aligned individual. Something unique like this is going to stand out to her.
I feel like her and Ceres will get along swimmingly.
Speaking of swimmingly, the docks.
Meanwhile,
As I don't know what Zed is going to be going around as, but given there's plenty of water around, he could be a fish for all we know.
I mean, depends if that is needed.
And depends on exactly where you plan to scout in the docks.
I guess first for the dry land.
Even that would even
like
be a
a-
seagull.
I cannot be a flying one.
Disappointing.
So I'm gonna be a cat because it has a climbing speed.
Fair enough.
It's a really shit seagull.
It's an old seagull.
It's been wounded by people throwing stones.
the old triple
It's
seagull.
one eye.
It's got one eye. It's got a third of one wing.
It carries a knife.
I mean,
Carries a knife.
the problem at that point is you're risking becoming dinner from one of the cats in the district. So
I don't like
That's
the
why he
look of that
carries the
seagull.
knife.
It's like side-eyeing me weirdly.
Oh my god, it is one of those sessions.
It has an eye patch. Arr.
but yes, Vickers and Zed then. How
Yes.
is that? Obviously, as I said, I don't think you're going to be talking to too many people.
No, that's not the good point.
But yeah, there's large, kind of busy markets and shady alleys near warehouses and shipyards. How exactly would Vickers go about trying to gather information on this very specific topic, very sensitive topic?
Well, given how sensitive the topic is, people are probably very reluctant to even broach the subject when there is someone nearby. So, given Vix's penchant for just, being sneaky, I think he would want to try and eavesdrop and basically not be seen so that people will more readily talk about the sensitive things that he wants to hear. So he would like to skulk about to the probably the places like I'd imagine him and Masara have kind of looked around and probably figured out some hotspots for activity that he can easily.
You have your instincts of where stuff might be.
Yes, so he would like to disappear and use his stealth in this case.
Very well.
Uh,
You can roll stealth for this. You have advantage from Theo.
Wonderful, thank you, Theo.
As Theo here will expend a little bit of his magic to keep you well hidden.
Wonderful. Let's see. Well, yeah, 28.
It's great not being excellent at stealth, but when Theo can create an illusionary barrel in front of you for you to hide behind, free cover.
Yes, it's very useful actually.
Because yeah, illusions.
Hmm.
Vickers, let's be honest, if Vickers didn't have telepathy, everyone would think he's disappeared off the face of the earth.
Yes.
So I doubt this is an uncommon occurrence for the party.
It's my specialty.
You keep your ear to the ground, listen. Try to figure out who or what could be involved. It's certainly not an easy task by any means. There's so much going on. You've got an entire area of district and, well, it's not the kind of thing people just openly talk about. That said, though, you do end up hearing some news about a couple of warehouses where apparently there's been a few suspicious individuals moving around them.
Okay.
You don't know if it's connected or not, but at least it gives you perhaps some areas to narrow down the search area.
Right.
So I'll count it down as 2 successes so far on the skill challenge.
Okay.
Try and locate what's the issue. Zed. Meow.
Yes.
How is it much the same for you as are you trying to just eavesdrop as a cat? Or do you have something more active you're going to be doing to try and find the information?
I mean,
Obviously,
these are like assassins and these kind of things. So I assume they work with poisons and some kind of these possible drugs and what kind of ever. So could I, as a cat, seek out, if I know about the warehouses, like smells of like these kind of materials with a, perception check?
I can allow that.
That's pretty smart.
Because cats have a keen smell, so have an advantage on this
I'm happy.
smell.
I'm happy for that. That seems like an interesting way of continuing the story. And generally, not being repetitive will work better than being repetitive.
23.
Ooh, that's another decently high roll. Okay. As that searches and skulks around the cat, going from warehouse to warehouse, you're definitely able to cross one off the list, which has nothing more interesting than just like flour and like dried meats and dried fruits. Another just has like carpentry supplies in it, so again, probably not very useful. But but you do manage to narrow down the search area a bit more, as some of them do seem to be getting packaged in them. You can't quite identify what it is. One of them smelling like alchemical things. Another with plenty of sealed packages that you just can't seem. You have no idea what's in them. Either way, it's interesting, and Zed gets a name, seemingly linked to both warehouses. So either way, this name might have some connection. Either way. Jordan Keller. Perhaps some kind of merchant or business owner, you think? Unclear. But the name seems to be associated with these locations based on, well, you hear plenty of people saying it nearby and letters from them. None of it incriminating enough, though.
He will, take that information to his party.
Yep. Oh, this is Masara. Any recognition from her of that name?
Masara considers. Masara is going to roll a skill check of her own.
All right.
I know that name. One of the dock masters, I think.
Makes sense.
I believe it's one of the dock masters. Manages ships coming in and out. If he's involved, perhaps, or could be involved. I don't really think asking around is safe. If we ask directly, it might put too much alert on it.
No, I would suggest we find out where his office is, or where he's operating, and see if we can find something incriminating.
I'd agree. Though, knowing this area and knowing what's going on at the moment, it may not be entirely safe. I imagine there's going to be security, and if he is related to the assassins in some way, possibly even traps.
I mean, I can be always an animal.
Being an animal doesn't solve every issue, though.
I mean, hopefully.
Moreover, from my understanding with Jordan, I believe he's had previous connection to some pirate groups as well. Just my luck.
Stepping on a spider's web here, Masara.
What did you expect?
I expected this, and I enjoy it.
Oh, I know. Just playing it out.
I'll gather some more information, but well, a bit of entry, a bit of light entry might be needed here.
Vicus agrees. We'll have to scope it out.
I'll scout it out, see what it is, but if my suspicions are correct, there is a chance thugs or other security may end up showing up with this.
He nods. We'll be ready.
I mean, if nothing else, if we succeed, it would certainly make a fancy mark of dealing an assassin guild. Maybe get us invitation to the ball.
Yeah, I'm gonna steal his invitation. No, because then I'd have to like one of us will have to like pose as him. I don't think that'll work.
No. I mean, if we deal with the assassins, guild in
Perhaps
the
that would get
area.
the attention of the
Yeah.
court.
Oh, okay. Maybe.
I mean, it's something that most people cannot do.
True, it's true.
Well, the group can return back to the Ruby Chalice, or to share the information you have gathered and Ceres's very depressing plan for tomorrow.
Oh, poor Ceres.
As it stands, it appears though that the group going out there with 2 expert successes has managed to have the information needed.
Great. Nice work.
Hooray!
As it came out, because you need a total of 5 successes to uncover enough information.
Mm-hmm.
Vickers gave 2, Zed gave 1, and Masara gave another 2. It's pretty good.
Teamwork.
Just what we needed.
Yep.
With that, then, well, perhaps for next time the group will have the opportunity to do some
Breaking, entering.
pretty much a specialty of the man in full plate.
Yes.
Oh yes, I am a living battering ram.
I mean, admittedly, you're definitely better at the breaking part than anything else, but
Point me in the
I would
right
argue
direction.
He's very good at the entering part as well. It just
that's
not quietly.
well.
Oh no!
Well, technically, breaking and entering doesn't define quiet necessarily.
Exactly.
Well, we enter and then we might have to break things.
He goes with
Yeah.
the shock and awe
It's the other
approach.
way around. Enter and breaking. That's what
Enter
I do.
and then perhaps breaking if we don't succeed.
I heard there was a breaking needed in here.
Just wait a sec.
Yeah. So next time, though, we'll start out with an interesting encounter, I think.
Sounds fun. Excited.
I like smacking things.
There will definitely be opportunities to smack things.
Aha! I'm an expert.
There'll
Be a
be
great parallel between us smashing things and thugs screaming and shouting, and then like a cut to Estinian trying to boo Ceres on the streets.
Just this like really bloody, like grueling fight, like, "Ugh!" and
Well,
then cut to
well.
like the love scene between Aragon and Arwen. You know.
Well, thankfully, the breaking and entering can take place either this evening or after Ceres is finished with her date. One of the two.
thank God.
Yes, perhaps after.
Yes.
Ceres is a very valuable ally, so
Ceres is
There's
gonna.
might also need to be
Which
deal
we
with
love
some
because
kind
that
of
means Ceres
protection.
can show up to the break and entering with lipstick covering her face or something.
Oh my!
Wait, you're in spring now, right? You can teleport me. Haha.
That's true.
Anyway, I hope you enjoyed our first session back. It was very roleplay heavy, but I hope it was enjoyable for everyone.
No, it's great.
Yay.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun.
Welcome to this part of chapter 2. Yeah, welcome to Port Silverswift. It is a very interesting place.
Yay!
It's happy to be back and happy to be here, a new city. Exciting
I-
stuff.
I didn't know it was such a party town, honestly.
It's
Well, now
extra
you know.
party town at the moment, given the festival. But
A bit different from Freyfrost, which was just,
Depression.
yeah, grim depression.
it is very different in that sense.
old castles crumbling, stuff like that.
Much of that, though, is to thank for the Duchess here, who is, she has definitely not gone down the more lawful, neutral path that Freyfrost did, or lawful good path Freyfrost did. Definitely much more